We're talking Jamar Chase. We're talking wide receiver 1 overall in Dynasty. We're talking Puka Nacua because he's in the news today. So we're going to be talking about why we believe Jamar Chase is safer than Puka Nacua. We won't spend too much time on Puka because we just did 2-3 live streams on Puka. And if you haven't watched, he's in the news because he might be in some trouble. And JSN just got paid. Jamar Chase is a monster. Which one is your number one Dynasty wide receiver? This is a question mark. I should probably put a question mark on here, and I'll fix the graphic and the title to make sure a question mark is in there because I'm not necessarily locking Jamar Chase personally into the number one overall spot. This is a question for all of you. Is it JSN? Is it Jamar Chase? Let's break it down. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition, the 10-minute live stream, because that's how we roll on this channel. With the Dynasty channel, 10-minute live streams unless someone drops a $20 super chat extender. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
Now, no one's wrong to like JSN over Jamar Chase or Jamar Chase over JSN, but I do think it is wrong. It's misguided to have Puka Nacua number one or number two. And maybe right now we won't address Puka Nacua doesn't belong number three. We'll attack that for another show, but there's so many negatives to Puka Nacua. So many. Multiple red flags. We're not just talking one. We're not talking about one big red flag and then a couple smaller red flags. We're talking about red flags galore for Puka Nacua. I'm going to spend 1 minute on this because we've already done so much tonight on it. You can go watch on the main channel on the Fantasy Football Show on YouTube. But Puka Nacua, once he loses Stafford, that's a huge red flag. He is peppered with targets in a way that only Stafford can provide. Maybe McVay does something crafty, crazy, gets Joe Burrow because the Bengals have a struggle bus 2026 and it lines up, and who the hell knows what McVay does. But it would require something like that to replicate what Puka's getting. Number two, Puka plays harder than anybody in the league. We give him flowers for that. That's unbelievably amazing. We love the grit and determination, but he's a walking injury waiting to happen. And he was in the tent in the locker room almost every single game this year, despite staying relatively healthy when it comes down to it, the numbers. He still was injured the whole entire year consistently. On top of that, those two big red flags, we have the mental state. This guy is unraveling before our very eyes. It feels very, very pre-Antonio Brown, early Pittsburgh Steelers days. No one's saying he's burned his feet off yet or he's gone crazy like in Tampa type of Antonio Brown on us, but he's definitely showing the signs of going off the rails. Why is it? Is it concussions? Is it his inability to handle fame? Who knows? But he's unraveling, and now he's in the news for alleged victim, for biting an alleged victim on the finger and on the shoulder, and teeth marks and breaking the skin. Vampire emojis, drop them in the live chat. And there's a restraining order reportedly requested, a request for a restraining order, and we're still waiting to hear if that actually got granted. I don't think it did, which doesn't bode well necessarily, not for sure, but is something you think about not being a good thing for the alleged victim if the restraining order is not actually granted. Those things are given out, err on the side of caution. So, we don't know, but all of this anyway, he's unraveling. He's constantly doing weird live streams. He's constantly saying these things. He's being tied to all these bad, poorly tasted, phrases, words, and conversations. And there's just a lot going on. And then he wants to retire before 30 years of age. All those are red flags. Puka can't be your number one Dynasty wide receiver. Doesn't matter how good he's played. Doesn't matter. Cooper Kupp was peppered with targets the same way. You think it's a coincidence that Puka Nacua arrived right when Cooper Kupp fell? Is it a coincidence they both happen to be two of the most electric players in a very short window of time? Or is it that Stafford developed a lot of this? That's what this is, a product of Stafford. Doesn't mean Puka couldn't survive if he went to play with Joe Burrow or something. He's developed into quite the player. We got an extender. We got a double extender from Luis, who just, by the way, For those that don't know, we have a Rumble show as well. And Luis dropped a $500 Rumble wallet crypto tip. And anybody that did that kicked off, if they did it, they kicked off an early Rumble show. And so that starts tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to do it around 11, 12, 1. But the Rumble show begins tomorrow because of Luis. Luis to the mother-freaking moon. Who also extended the show to 15 minutes and 25 seconds. So let me change the timer here, which will provide plenty of time on the phone line now that Luis. So 15:16. Let me put that in there. 15:16 is what I meant to type there. So 15:16, that's how much time we now have to discuss. The phone lines will be wide open in 1 second. Luis, appreciate you dropping the 20 there and the 20 here. And Luis says BBQ to the moon. Luis loves BBQ. Did he drop another one? He dropped 3. BBQ. Someone call. Okay, he dropped yet another one. This is the third one. I apologize, I didn't see all 3. That puts us at 19 minutes and 16 seconds now. Luis, you absolute straight savage. He's been on fire tonight. He's been going crazy tonight. Luis is unbelievable. He's in the trade calculator, by the way. You can try and, if you search by the magnifying glass, you can type in Luis, and the top 20 overall players combined won't outscore him. It'll tell you not to do the trade. Luis, appreciate you. Now we're down to Jamar Chase and JSN because Puka cannot be your number 1 dynasty wide receiver. And honestly, again, we'll have a conversation about this very soon. He probably shouldn't be your number 3 dynasty wide receiver, but that's not for today. Today, we're trying to nail down the number 1. I've already, for you, ruled out Puka Nacua. So now we're down to Jamar Chase versus JSN. JSN just got his big fat payday. Our boy Jamar Chase is, he's Jamar Chase. I mean, he's capable of outscoring any wide receiver at any given moment, at any given time. And the truth of the matter is this, and you might not like this. You might not like this. Because I don't like doing ties. I like trying to take a hardline stance and let people know where I stand. I'm always about that. But the truth of the matter is these two gentlemen are one and the same. One's a different, consistent type of player in JSN who has Milroe and Sam Darnold that's protective. For at least now, it's very protective. Jamar Chase is Joe Burrow. And he has mother-freaking Joe Flacco, who just signed with the Bengals today, which is fantastic news. Meatloaf all around.
I smell meatloaf.
Because that gives us a very secure feel of Jamar Chase for 2026. And who knows what that means for 2026 and beyond. The thing that would maybe have me say, and again, this was supposed to have a question mark. I'll fix the graphic. By the time you're watching this, maybe you'll see the title and the graphic has been changed on YouTube. It should have a question mark because it's not a lock for me that Chase is the one. I kind of lean toward JSN. And they're pretty much a tie for me for the most part, especially if we're talking short-term dynasty. Meaning you're not worried about 4 or 5 years from now. You're kind of just focused on 1 to 2 years. And you're winning a lot of cash money involved in those leagues. If it's like a $20 league, then you're more going to be long-term, I think. But if you're a short-term dynasty thinker and you're trying to think just for the next 2-3 years, next 2 years specifically, and really trying to win next year and then, take it as it comes, the kind of person that would keep Derrick Henry and win 3 straight championships instead of trying to get rid of him 3 years prior. I was one of those people. I was trying to get rid of Derrick Henry 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I started trying to get rid of Derrick Henry. Couldn't trade him. I won 3 championships. I didn't win last year. I won 3 championships in a row every year trying to get rid of Derrick Henry. That is a short-term dynasty person. Jamar Chase, to me, is higher risk, higher reward. The only reason I think that JSN edges out Jamar Chase is because I do worry a little bit about what happens if Joe Burrow is unhappy next offseason. He can't take Jamar Chase with him. Doesn't work like that. So I worry about him getting abandoned. It's not a very likely scenario, but when you're talking about pulling teeth and splitting hairs between two guys that rank exactly identically side by side, one just got paid a massive amount. One has Milroe, who's we don't know where Flacco's not a long-term backup solution, and Joe Burrow's had trouble staying healthy. Jamar Chase has had trouble staying healthy. We don't have yet anyway, and anything can happen, that same concern about JSN. And because I actually really truly like Milroe, love Milroe, feel like this is the safer dynasty play. And the ceiling value is still there. I think he's got a little bit more swing, for sure. He's got a little bit more security, safety, quarterback security, defense. Like everything's going to be pretty solid and secure for the next 3, 4, 5 years. This is volatile. I like what the Bengals are doing. The Bengals have made some great moves. Their defense looks a lot better. I think they will make Burrow happy. And then at the end of the day, it's really tied. But slight edge, and I mean slight edge to JSN. So slight that if I was in 2 leagues side by side, guess what? I'm taking one in one and one in the other. This is so close. That is the way I look at it. If I only had one league, though, I would lean toward JSN by a hair. Not to mention Ziggy, Volume 10. Ziggy, how old is Jackson Smith-Njigba?
Jackson Smith-Njigba is 24, Jackson Smith is 18, and Jacoby Smith is 30.
What is he doing, bro? Okay, Ziggy off. Let me do this manually because I don't think Ziggy's trained for this anymore. Ziggy, turn off. Jackson Smith-Njigba, let me get his birthday. He was born
I turned
on...
off the first plug.
No, Ziggy, not the studio. Ziggy. He turned the lights off. What in the hell's wrong with you? What in the hell's wrong? Ziggy, activate. I swear. This guy's a moron. 24 years old, February. And Jamar Chase, 26 March. Ziggy, turn off. Ziggy, off. Turn off. Not the lights, you moron. Ziggy, activate. I gotta let him just go away. I think I'm gonna smash him with the bat. This is getting ridiculous. So JSN, so Jamar Chase just turned 26. JSN just turned 24. There's a 2-year difference, which is also another factor. You know, you have to consider that in Dynasty. Not that you're splitting hairs because there's still, again, I think people that play too far in the future play for second place. But man, you talk about 2-year difference in age. Both are almost identical value anyway. And one has Milroe and a team that feels like it's a little bit more secure. But I'm going to go ahead and say JSN by a hair. And that's my final answer, but they're neck and neck. Husseini dropped another $20 super chat. Husseini, you absolute savage. Which puts us at what? 1649, I believe. So 1649. Thank you, Husseini. Husseini to the moon. Luis is on the phone line right now. Luis, you've been dropping wads all night. Appreciate you. You are live, young man.
Yes, sir. So the only question I really got is, so when it comes to JSN, he kind of lost his team this year. And are you going to trust a, not a banged up, but just a depleted Seattle Seahawks defense / offense, well, offense basically without Kenneth Walker? Are you going to trust that more than a little, it's a little better Bengals defense?
Let me just stop you right there and just say that they lost players, so that makes them not likely to repeat, but they didn't lose enough on both sides of the ball at all, on either side. to make them not a competitive team that's going to throw the ball down the field. Not to mention is sometimes that caters to more throwing. If they stayed the same and they were a Super Bowl contending team, which I wouldn't say they're not contending, but they're not going to repeat. They lost too many pieces. Then you likely have JSN potentially, instead of getting better, this year in 2026, he's probably going to be contained a little bit more if the scenario is the exact same, because they didn't throw a ton. So week 1, week 16, week 17, he's probably going to be more along the lines of, this is the number 1 wide receiver. He's probably going to have a little bit of a dip if nothing changes. The fact that they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more, they might not be in games, I think that's going to make him a little bit more of a potential spike week player that we need. I don't think it hurts him at all. I think if anything, it could help him, because they're not going to be, their defense is still going to be phenomenal, bro. They're still going to have a good offense to a degree. None of that's going to change. And I think they throw more. So none of it. It's the actual perfect recipe of getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Let me merge Bruce in real quick and I'll let you answer. Bruce, mute yourself real quickly if you could. But yeah, Luis, this is the perfect recipe for a wide receiver to have the team get slightly worse. Not extremely worse. They're slightly worse across all levels, which makes them throw more.
For sure, but okay, so I know Chase is like 2 years older, but if you had to compare, I mean, I know JSN went crazy last year. That was just the perfect mix of the running game. They lost their assistant head coach to the chart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they lost a lot. So, Chase with Burrow, if Burrow stays healthy, do you really think he's not going to overfeed? He's going to give Chase the ball.
They're identical, bro.
Like
these guys are both capable of being the number 1 wide receiver, and they're both capable of being tied above everybody else. It's like I said, splitting hairs. The odds of JSN being on a team that's so depleted that they can't move the football down the field, is the odds of that are not. The odds are great that he's at least gonna have great situational football for him. They're not, the Seahawks are still going to be good, but they're going to have to throw more. The odds of Jamar Chase staying healthy and Joe Burrow staying healthy and Joe Burrow not getting traded in the offseason, there's a lot more that could go wrong for Jamar Chase than for JSN situationally. A lot more. Because Joe Burrow gets injured a lot. Jamar Chase gets injured a lot. Joe Burrow is literally unhappy to the extreme this offseason. I do believe that the Bengals are building something solid on defense this year. It seems pretty good. So I think things will be pretty good. I don't know that Joe Burrow will want to leave, but this is just one aspect, right? There's nothing about JSN's situation that should scare anybody, because getting worse as a team means they throw more to him. They're going to rely more on JSN. Jamar Chase, things can't get better. He just has to stay healthy. Joe Burrow has to stay healthy. That happens, these guys are going neck and neck every single week. This guy is just in a little bit safer long-term environment, JSN, and this guy has more upside any given week than any receiver in the league, but comes with a few more red flags and concerns that don't really go away. The injury history won't really go away. The injury history of Burrow won't really go away. And the volatility of Burrow's mindset in this environment, should they fail him in Cincy, doesn't necessarily go away unless they just are a dynasty for the next 5 years to be reckoned with, which I don't see that. I see them being in the mix, but having some years like this. So it's tough to say. I don't think there's a real good argument in favor of one blowing the other one out of the water, is what I'm trying to say.
Heck yeah. The other question I may have is not Dynasty, and I know this is like a Dynasty show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who do you take? So you still go Bijan or Gibbs / 1, 2, and then either JSN or Chase 3, 4.
My dynasty ranking would go probably as follows. Now, man, I'll tell you, wide receivers are way more valuable in dynasty long-term thinking, but it's it's hard to say, like, again, if you're playing for the now versus playing for the long term. And it depends on, like, are you playing with a group of people that you don't trust the league to be around in 3 or 4 years? Then it's like Gibbs and Bijan are probably the number 1 and 2 for me because I'm a big running back kind of drafter. But this is interchangeable. You could go either way. There's no Gibbs or Bijan Gibbs. It is literally, and I don't even, there's no tier break here because honestly, every single player I'm about to write deserves to be the 1.1. JSN, Jamar Chase, and then right here, there's just a mini tier break. I wouldn't even say I wouldn't even say there's like a tier break necessarily in terms of what you're going to get back in terms of cost of entry and return on investment, but just a perception of tier break value that I believe. Let me merge Husseini in here. That I believe is essentially just like you need to take advantage of the market. The market allows you to get these 2-3 players that are next a lot cheaper. So if you start throwing in like a Genty and a Jeremiah Love, they definitely need to go later, and the tier break needs to be there because perception is reality. And nobody should be thinking that they're in the tier that they can probably finish in. These guys could finish absolutely in this tier by the end of the season, but you need to pay for them outside of the tier. But Chase, JSN, Bijan, Gibbs, there is no order to that anybody can look somebody else in the face and say, you can't do that, or you should have this guy first. Jamar Chase should be 1. JSN should be 1. Gibbs should be 1. Bijan, they're all unicorns. All 4 of these guys are straight up unicorn cornerstone players. And unless it's super flex, they're really the 4 big dogs. And go ahead, Luis, and I'll put you on mute and then go over to Husseini and over to who else is on the phone here? Husseini and Bruce. So go ahead, Luis, real quickly.
Do it, Husseini. Go ahead, Husseini.
All right, Husseini, you're live, and I appreciate you said one day I'll be as gangster as Luis. One day. Husseini, you're live.
Hey guys. I know. I mean, I'm not gonna go too much into about like you said, the top 4, because you can shift it any way you want, especially with receivers like Chase, Jason. I prefer Chase, but that's what it is, the preference. It's not, no one's right or wrong between the two, like you said. But I want to talk more about, like, I guess, Puka. I really love Puka, especially in Dynasty, because not nobody, but a lot of people don't believe in him and they don't trust him and they're not even thinking about him. But I think Puka can easily be 20, like, in 365 days from now, we can easily be talking about Puka the way we're talking about JSN. And I just think that if you can get him in like a startup dynasty draft, at his ADP, of course, I think you hit jackpot, you hit gold. You know, I just think Puka is such a great receiver.
I don't mean to cut you off here, and I don't mind talking about that, but just real quickly want to inject that by no means do I believe Husseini or anybody should be taking, or that he's inferring this, should be taking Puka anywhere near the first or second round, because you don't need to. So because we're having a conversation of who's the number 1 wide receiver on the show, I just want to make sure we're not heading in a direction where someone thinks you're drafting Puka as the second or third. He's going in the 4th round, 5th round in redraft, 4th round maybe in Dynasty. So kind of off topic, and I don't mind you bringing it up. I just want to step in and say, in case anybody's like sitting here going, whoa, why are we talking about a Puka here? Are we really taking Puka in the top 5 overall? Because that's really where we're at tonight. But you make a good point, and I don't mind going there. I actually don't mind at all. That you're right. A year or 2 from now, this is a guy that may, Emeka Puka, be in this kind of conversation where we're saying who's the number 1 wide receiver, or who's the top 3. Will he ever be 1? I don't know. Maybe not. But top 3, top 4, top 5 at least potential wide receiver in the National Football League. And so it's a good preemptive conversation, but I just wanted to step in and make sure that no one's, as we're talking about the top 5 overall. Go ahead, Husseini.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to go off topic. I just
No, it's fine.
and I agree with you. I don't want to like. I'm not trying to imply that you should draft him even and maybe not even in early third. You know, you should draft him where other people are drafting him. But I'm just saying like as a sleeper, quote unquote. He's not really a sleeper, but as a sleeper, like I think he's amazing. But as far as like in the top 4 or 5 or whatever, I love Chase. I mean, I love them all, but if I had a preference, I would pick Bijan first, and then Chase as a receiver. But I also really love Neighbors. I mean, I know he's maybe a little outside. He's like top 10, top 12, whatever. But I love Neighbors. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him too, just because they think his injury is gonna screw him or something. I don't really believe that. I think he's gonna bounce back, and I just don't trust Nagy. That's my only thing. But outside of Nagy, I love Neighbors. I think he's great. He's great. And I really hope that he bounces back, and I think he will. But as far as like the Chase, Jason, I just think that's like you can't go wrong, like you said. So it's just like you're running in circles over who's better, who's not better, who you should pick. I just like you just pick your preference, and you trust your gut and you go with it. And I don't think there's a wrong choice when you pick between the top 5 unicorns. Also,
Yeah,
actually, Justin Jefferson as well.
yeah, for sure.
If Kyler pans out, JJ can easily bounce right back into this mix because he's also a unicorn. He just
Now
been getting
he's
kind
a
of
bit
screwed with
he's
it.
a bit older, so it does take a year. You're gonna have a lot of people not wanting JJ in a top 5 conversation, but I am definitely the kind of person that says I don't care about 3 years versus 5. JJ will be in my top 7, 8 overall potentially. So that's why I wrote JJ here as you were talking about him. So JJ, Genty, Achan, Love, Neighbors, and Puka needs to be in the conversation. Even though I personally am avoiding him at the cost of entry in dynasty startups, or I'm drafting him and then trading him. And I just traded for him in a league where I got offered a deal I couldn't refuse. But part of that is that I know I can flip Puka, especially during the season. If he's going crazy during the year, I could flip him for JJ and something, even if JJ looks like he's bouncing back a little bit. So very, very much love the JJ Puka conversation dynasty. I think that's a fun one, a good face-off future show. But Achan, Neighbors, Love, Genty, Puka, JJ. I mean, I'm there's other players I could throw in the mix here. Lamb, if you will, Lamb is definitely deserving of being in the conversation, I think. Um, and running back wise, past Genty and Love, I think Hampton and Achan both deserve to be talked about if one's being talked about. But, at some point I got to cut it off and just say, look, Hampton's nowhere near being top 4. And so I can't just keep listing everything. Where's James Cook? Where's Hampton? Where's, Bucky Irving? Why are you talking about Bucky Irving? Like, this is a conversation of who's the number 1 wide receiver. So that's why we can't, even dig into Puka. Even though it's a good conversation, I don't mind a sidebar. But we literally are talking about who's the number 1 wide receiver. We can't start digging into Lamb and all those guys. But just so everybody feels comfortable with who missed the cut, we're starting to look at these names. I didn't write them all on screen at the exact time that we were talking about it. I just slowly put them on just so people in the chat. I know we're going to have somebody going, why isn't JJ on there? And I'm going to say, please continue watching, Steven. All right, hang tight real quick, Husseini. I'll swing back around. And Luis dropped while you were talking, another extender. So we put another 5 minutes on the screen. Time flies when you're having fun. We're down to 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Unless I missed one. Does anybody see that I missed one? Let me go to who's next on the call? Bruce? Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. You kind of got to my point, but I'll kind of ask it. But mine was on JJ. Can he still be, like, I can still consider him my number 1 in Dynasty, because he's still always had 1,000 yards in his every single year. He's always had over 1,000 yards.
I mean, you're not crazy to cost of entry like him better. But yeah, you can't draft him ahead of Gibbs, Bijan, JSN, Jamar Chase. Really, even maybe Puka in terms of cost of entry. You trade down or you figure out a way to navigate that so that you're getting JJ and some. But yeah, you can't. I mean, he probably can't be in your top 3 wide receiver ranking publicly. You're quietly loving that value and you're saying, hey, I'm going to draft Jamar Chase and I'm going to trade you Jamar Chase for JJ and something massive because that's what you can command. So if you like JJ as much as anybody, you are in a very good position to get something as big as freaking Bucky Irving, James Cook, Hendy, and some, Kenneth Walker, and some, a quarterback upgrade from QB6 to Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Like, you can get the world going from JJ to Jamar Chase. So understand that, that is, you got to attack it like that. We got another super chat from Luis, which puts us back at 9 minutes and 49 seconds is what I'm going to put it at by the time I hit enter. So 9:49. Luis has been working like crazy tonight on extending the show and creating the Rumble show essentially early. Like, Luis is a monster. Luis, thank you very much, kind sir. Appreciate you. Bruce, anything else?
Yeah, because and I think you tapped in on it for a little while. Like, I'll just say St. Brown and JJ.
Husseini.
Would you go with the? Okay, I'll still have him for 5 years or 6 years, or would you go with or would you take the gamble and say I'm going to take the Tyson or Tate? What's your motto on that?
Hold on 1 second, Bruce. Yeet dropping a 20. Husseini dropping a 20. That's 15 more minutes. This is a show that never ended, is what it's going to end up becoming. 15 more minutes. More minutes than we have left on the clock. Let's see, 8. So 23:34, I believe. Is that the correct? So we have to add the clock. 23:34. Look at these guys.
Smitty, when I get a chance, I'm Luis. Real quick, can I get a take? I'm sorry to interrupt Bruce. Can I get a take on Hendy versus Rise, please?
On who?
Whenever you get a chance. No. I'm gonna stay quiet.
On who?
Hendy versus Rise.
Hendy versus Rice. Okay, sure.
Luis. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Luis, forget Hendy. Why isn't Rice in the top 10? Okay, so Husseini's upset that Rice isn't in this. Well, I didn't say he wasn't.
It's a joke.
Oh, okay. I didn't say he wasn't talent-wise. Joseph dropping a $20 super chat. Joseph says, put another 5 on the board, Smitty. This is a 27-minute and 54. 27:50. So we have 27 minutes in the show left. That's crazy. You guys are absolute lunatics. What? You keep screaming what?
I said Husseini call.
Husseini call. I think, yeah, Husseini, you can call if you want.
Please.
Any thoughts on Jaden Higgins for Dynasty? Shout out, Smitty. No one doing it like you do. Jaden Higgins. I don't mind him, bro. He's probably, if I had to like equate him to somebody today, like what I believe the max value he holds, especially with me not liking CJ Stroud at all. I think the max value for him, Higgins, man, that's probably going to be like geez, man. I don't think it's an Addison. I think you're probably looking at in the best case scenario, like he hits the lottery with the volume and everything. You're talking about like Cortland Sutton. In a worst case scenario, you're talking about probably like Wicks, or I use some of the Green Bay guys like Wicks or Jaden Reed, somebody that like has a lot of talent but never truly fully develops. But I know a lot of people like Jaden Higgins, and with Tank Dell coming back, though, and looking pretty healthy, kind of feel like Jaden Higgins isn't going to get the opportunity that he deserves to have. But maybe he's one of those wide receivers that goes elsewhere and ends up becoming something later in his career. A couple players have done that recently. Thanks again, Joseph, for the additional time. Bruce, to answer your question real quickly, what was it again? Just real quickly. Sorry.
It was like, would you take the 5 or 6 more years with like a St. Brown or Justin Jefferson, or would you rather have like the fresh Tyson Tate type of guys on your team?
I'd rather take unless Jordan Tyson goes to Washington to play with JD5, or let's say he goes to the Titans. I could contemplate it, but I'd still take JJ. But it's not even a contemplation unless he's in that elite situation. And because I love Tyson, but JJ, your dream is that Tyson becomes at least JJ. That's a. Why not just take the guy now? Give me JJ all day.
Okay.
I mean, there's an argument to make. Like, let me put it this way, Bruce. Let's say you told me I had a 50% chance of getting the 1.1 next year or the 1.5. It was one or the other. So I had a 50% chance of getting Jeremiah Smith, or I had a 50% chance of getting the 1.5. Okay. Do I want those odds, or would you rather just get JJ now? I would take JJ now. Because I don't know if I'm going to get, you don't know what you're getting, man. So even with like the Jordan Tyson, you love him. I love him. We're comparing him to other risky options. He becomes a guy that floats to the top of the conversation, but you just can't pass on something that you're hoping that player becomes when the player is already there. Take the player that's already there. Like, JJ is going to be fantastic. Joe says Jamar Chase will never leave my number 1 wide receiver list. Him and JJ 1A, 1B. You're like, Bruce, hypothetical question. As a GM, who are you taking, Chase or JSN? I'll be honest. I'm taking JSN by a hair because he doesn't seem, in my opinion, to have any injury risk. He's only getting better. He's 2 years younger. Chase has an injury history. Even if JSN starts to show a little sign of like a injury bug, a little bit, or like JJ has an injury history. I'm sorry, Jamar Chase has an injury history. And I just think JSN, you got to keep in mind, JSN was the best wide receiver in any room he was ever in. And even as a freshman, Olave and Garrett Wilson as prospects, they were amazing. They're amazing now, but they were so amazing in college. They kept saying JSN's better than both of us. JSN's better than both of us. And they're going into the NFL, and they went into the NFL to become huge, big name prospects. I just think that we're not scratching the surface on JSN. We certainly know who he's becoming, but there's still more ceiling value for JSN to get into. Like, this is the beginning stages, my guys. This is the very beginning of seeing JSN develop. So I'd probably rather have JSN. But Jamar Chase is right there. I mean, we're talking about neck and neck. Talent-wise, Jamar Chase is probably the most ridiculous wide receiver in the league. And that comes at a cost sometimes, though. The way that they play. Neighbors is case in point. But hypothetically, GM JSN. He does everything, bro. He's so consistent, and that's the way I'm taking it. Luis, forget it. Forget Hendy. Why is Rice not top 10? That's what Husseini said. And then Luis said, why isn't Hendy on the top 10? Just kidding. And then I think we got all the super chats. Money Mitch, and then I'll go back around the phone line. Allen, Burden, Hampton, or Love, Bijan, BTJ, Parker, Washington. You didn't tell me if this is Dynasty or Superflex or not. It's the Dynasty channel, so I'm assuming Dynasty. But if it's Superflex, and I assume that's Jeremiah Love, it didn't clarify a lot here, Money Mitch. You're making me guess on a lot of things. Allen, Superflex, non-Superflex. Love, is that Jeremiah Love? Is this Jordan Love? Because we're talking to Superflex. Bijan, BTJ, Parker, Washington. It's Superflex. Okay, it's important. And is that Love Jeremiah Love, or is that Love Jordan Love? Jordan Love. Okay. Big difference. Allen, Burden, Hampton over Bijan, BTJ, Parker, Washington, Love. The answer is Allen, Hampton. I love Bijan. You guys know that. But Allen's the 1.1 in Dynasty. Or 1.2. But 1.1 for me, Dynasty Superflex. Hampton's easily second round worthy in Superflex still, even if it's bottom of second. Bijan might be top 5 or 6, of course, but you're drafting Allen ahead of Bijan, and then you're drafting Hampton and Burden probably ahead of Love, probably even. And then, or it's close, but I don't even like drafting Love where Hampton's going. So it's just, you're crushing it on the Allen side. If you're trading away Allen, don't do it. That's one of those trades where people trick you into doing something because you're throwing extra names in, like Parker Washington, who we love. But all right, let me go over to Husseini. Husseini, you haven't spoke yet, right? Or have you?
No, I did earlier for a few minutes.
Okay, my shows are running together. My brain's fried. I've been working on the fantasyfootballshow.com for 10 hours a day. Husseini, appreciate you. Luis, appreciate you. Bruce, appreciate you. I've got DJ on the phone. You guys mind if I go to DJ real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I can talk
Get
last.
it, DJ. Get it, DJ.
DJ, you're live.
And
Best show on the
take
planet.
all your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Best show on the planet, Smitty. Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to chime in. Good stuff, man. Best show, best squad on the planet. This is unbelievable, organic at its finest. But my choice is Chase. Chase number one. And listening to everyone chiming in with regard to Puka and your thoughts, I think it might depend on my build in Dynasty as to whether or not I would go with Puka at 2. Be that as it may, Chase, the Burrow lane, then we have, of course, Stafford. Like, I guess we're calling him like almost a walking dead, at any moment, no offense to anyone. But yeah, because if we're only talking 2 or 3 years, I think under the circumstances and the change, I think you made good points. I think, JSN might be OC proof, but I'm not too sure. And the absence of Walker. Now,
but they're going to throw more. I mean, they're going to throw more.
Hairs, because if I'm talking in terms of just straight up building my dynasty squad, I don't know that I can miss. But I think it's just an overall build. I'm not saying I'm for or against. Just making an argument in terms of a good point you made earlier with regard to, well, when now where we have those of us who are like 2-3 years, I'm good. And I think Puka would support that. That was my thought on that. I'll pause. Go on hold.
Okay. Go ahead, Luis. Real quickly, I just want to say real quickly. Let me ask DJ one follow-up question. You said you consider Puka Nacua at 2 overall in Dynasty. I'm not hating on it, but I do want to know what.
No, in terms of if we're speaking just wide receiver ranking, if we're saying 1, 2, and 3, right?
And you're not concerned about any of the red flags I mapped out, and it's okay if you're not. I'm just trying to get a feel.
Well, no, my perspective, the perspective that you laid off, you made earlier, I'm just leaning into that just from a standpoint of it's a good point. If you're a team that is 2 or 3 years, see, you didn't apply it to Puka, but I think you applied it to Chase. But if you're a team that's win now and you're 2 or 3 year window in Dynasty, Puka is an ideal fit for that because you're not speaking in terms of 4 or 5. I think Chase is just number 1, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years.
But Puka has Puka has
Yeah.
some immediate risk, though. It's not like Puka's immune to 3 or 4. Like saying Puka Nacua, because we're thinking 3 or 4 years out, we're avoiding that just like we are with Chase or whatever. I don't necessarily personally agree, because all that concern we're avoiding is that he retires early, or like we have an immediate Matthew Stafford panic situation at some point, either this year if he gets injured and doesn't make it through, or can't come back, or just doesn't return to the Rams. But we have turmoil in LAR with no Stafford. And then you have just the much more likelihood of injury for Puka than even Jamar Chase or anybody else, just because the man is in the tent or the locker room every single game. And clearly his personality change is likely, it's a guess, but it's a very educated guess, where I've done this for 25 plus years professionally. And you can pretty much see when a player's personality is changing, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle once these guys start going off the rails. There's no like, you're a young kid and you make stupid mistakes and then you grow up. It's almost like you have these arrested developments with these players that once they start going off the rails like Ayuk, once you start going off the rails like AB and Puka, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. So there's so many now concerns, next year concerns with Puka. I couldn't even come close to putting him in my top 3 Dynasty wide receivers. But the beautiful part is a lot of people disagree with me. So if you do agree with me and you have Puka, you can get the world for him in Dynasty, and I'm going to do it. I'm not hanging on to him. But that's just my take.
Well, no, I think it's an excellent take. I think I'm kind of impartial. I mean, just in terms of value, depending upon where I'm drafting at. If we're talking a startup, and if I'm getting Puka 7, 8, 9, yeah, that just makes sense. But yeah, I mean it's a good point. Yeah, that's an immediate thing. It just thinks in terms of the next 2 years, 3 years, there might be some bang in there in that value, but you can't go wrong.
All right, thank you, DJ. Let me go back over to Luis. Luis, go ahead. You're live. And real quickly, Eat says Superflex got offered Burrow, Chase, and Scat for Gibbs, Neighbors, and Kyler. Woo! I got Mahomes and my other QB along with 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.8. So you could get Mendoza if you wanted. So Burrow, Chase, and Scat for Gibbs, Neighbors, and Kyler. Wow. I mean, we break this down from a Superflex perspective. Burrow is a top 4 or 5 overall pick. Chase is probably 6, 5, 6, 7. I mean, one could take Chase over Burrow in a Dynasty Superflex. It's possible. It doesn't mean if someone's crazy to take a wide receiver if they're the number 1 wide receiver. If they think Chase is the number 1 wide receiver, that's why we're having this debate. Clearly, he's in the conversation of the number 1 overall player in non-Superflex. So people that don't take quarterback early will consider him in the top 5. So in a way, Chase and Burrow are, and Gibbs are all neck and neck, just depending on your Superflex strategy of choice. But 2 of the players, Burrow and Chase, are on the same side. And Neighbors is an enigma. Scattaboo's also a big question mark, because who knows how much they believe in him when they're contemplating bringing in a Walker. Now they want to draft Jeremiah Love if he's there. And then you've got the head issues with him as well, probably at some point coming down the stream. So it's like, damn, man. I mean, it depends on Kyler. It depends on what you do with that pick. Would I rather have Mendoza at 2, and you take obviously Jeremiah Love, so you got Mendoza and Mahomes, and then you have Gibbs and Neighbors and Kyler, or would I rather have Chase, Burrow, Scat? Man, that's tough. I think I lean toward the Burrow, Chase, and Scattaboo side, but then I try my darndest to turn Scat and something into an upgrade so that I don't feel But that's such a tough move. I mean, Burrow in a super flex is huge. Winning a super flex with Mahomes and Mendoza, let's say, or Mahomes and Kyler, isn't impossible. I'm not saying that. But winning it with Burrow and Mahomes is a lot easier in super flex. It's a whole different monster. But damn, that's a tough call. I lean toward Burrow, Chase, and Scatterboo, but try and take Scatterboo with other value, upgrade it so that you look at the trade later and go, damn, I'm glad I didn't do that because I turned Scat into a player that's not that far off from Neighbors. I got a Puka, future first rounder, and Scatterboo for Puka. You do that and leave it alone, home run. Trade Scatterboo for Mike Evans, older veteran that everybody wants to discard, and now you got Mike Evans, Burrow, and Chase. Championship. Don't worry about Mike Evans' age. Go take advantage of it. Like, that's the way I would probably not do this trade. Or do it. I guess you got offered Burrow, Chase. I do that, then flip Scat. Chat, vote on this one. It's a close call. Gibbs is hard to give up, but it's super flex, man. It's super flex. Burrow and Chase go so high. Burrow and Chase are arguably both top 6 overall players, bro, in a super flex dynasty startup. That's crazy. All right, go ahead, Luis. You're live.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, I'm back. So, when we're talking fantasy, so obviously you got Bijan, Gibbs. Then you're going to either have JSN or Chase. I'm going to have a little wild take. Dynasty-wise, as much as people want to bring up Puka and stuff, but honestly, I would say either Love or Genty. That's going to be the next 2. And then a wild card will be Neighbors. That's going to jump over those 2 guys. And it's either going to go compete for the Chase spot. In my eyes, Chase is the best guy. And then there's JSN. And then that's where he's going to rank. But I know people are not going to agree with that. But it's like, if we're talking about fantasy for the future, that's kind of how I see it.
The only thing that concerns me about Neighbors being a cornerstone of a team is just the injury concern mixed with Matt Nagy, which probably is a short-term situation. Jackson Dart's concussion likelihood and crazy play. The musical chairs of OC, how that affects him in his second year, Neighbors and Jackson Dart, because usually, you could have a totally different, situation, and that's hard for the quarterback to get used to. Look at Trevor Lawrence continuing to go through changes, and it stunted his growth and took forever. I love Dart a lot. Dart's exciting, but Dart is also another player that I close my eyes and I try and picture 5 years from now, and I can't see anything, And Husseini, I know you don't want to hear this, but that's the way I feel about Rashee Rice. It's the way I feel about.
No.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate that I hope I'm wrong, but the odds of the Kansas City Chiefs giving him an extension next year, they aren't looking great unless he comes into 2026 and drops a top 5, top 3, even wide receiver. Yeah, probably top 5 is fine because look at Pickens, what he just did. So if he drops top 5 wide receiver numbers, then he's a franchise tag candidate. And then that way you're either holding him for another year and he can plan the tag or sign a reasonable deal, or you end up you moving on from him, or you sign him to a big contract, make him plan the tag, or move on from him. But what I think happens, though, Hussein, and you won't be that upset, I mean, unless Rashee Rice is everything to you, or if it's more so, I love Rice, but I'm more KC, I'm more Mahomes, I'm more, Mahomes in KC, and I'm not all about Rice. They're probably looking to, if they are thinking that themselves, worried about it, they're probably drafting Tate or Tyson or Mekhi Lemon, and I hope it's not Mekhi Lemon, here at number 9.
Yeah, I hope it's not Lemon. I will be very upset.
Yeah, I don't want it to be Lemon either.
Yeah,
Lemon's going to be good.
KC.
He's going to be good, but he's not, at least as a prospect. I could change my tune. I could change my mind. Who hung up over here? Bruce, if you need to call back in, call back in. I'm not saying he can't be, good, can't be really good in the NFL, but the expectation of him being as a smaller, slower player, being able to walk in to the NFL as a considered full-time slot guy, finding the perfect home that isn't going to feel the pressures of changing their system, because he's not going to be on the field unless it's a 3 wide receiver set situation. So he's got to fall to the right spot, the right everything, and they can move him around and give him more work. And maybe he doesn't just play slot eventually, but look at JSN. He was very much a slot guy. They moved him all around. As we said when we talked about JSN having the year that we predicted he would have this year, we put him on the board up above as top 4 wide receiver. That was super bold at the time. But what we said about that situation is your offensive line. Here's Darnold, our boy Darnold. And then you'd have JSN, potentially playing the slot a lot of the time right here. And if you move JSN out to the outside and not run him in the slot all the time, the concern is, because here's the sideline, you have JSN limited. He can't do much this way. So you're only forced to go across the field, run, go routes, drag routes, whatever. But it limits your ability when you get pigeon-held into a corner of the field, right? But the thing that we said about JSN is the NFL is changing the motion, the pre-snap motion. It's all about pre-snap motion now. Now there's no limitation to an outside wide receiver, because what you end up happening, instead of lining up like this, you're lining up a lot of things in very, very tight formations where your outside wide receiver is essentially playing in the same kind of territory that a slot wide receiver is running his route. So now as an outside wide receiver, JSN's running every route in the route tree because he's got all this room, because he's lined in tight. He's moving in motion and playing outside wide receiver, but constantly moving all over the field. And that was the beautiful part about JSN's 2026 season, is just watching him, move around, navigate all over the field. And there's no position limitation to him anymore. So Mekhi Lemon has a shot of being potentially the kind of slot wide receiver that you could put really all over the field, but I just don't think it happens right away. And personally, I would much rather see the Chiefs take Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson. Tate feels a little bit better for the Chiefs fit-wise, especially given that you have Worthy, that's a speedy guy that could still stretch the field, and Carnell Tate could literally replace Rashee Rice, and Carnell Tate doesn't drop anything. He's Chris Carter hands-wise. It would be ideal for Patrick Mahomes. Just pepper the hell out of the guy, crossing across the middle consistently, basically replacing Rashee Rice. We got 2 $20 super chats extending the show to 13 minutes and 36 seconds, both of them by Luis. Luis, you're a monster, bro. You're just out of control. 13:30. There you go. So Husseini, you can speak on it real quickly. I know you're upset about the Rashee Rice comments, but bro, he's not giving this team a lot of incentive to give him a long-term deal right now. It's just the truth.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'm like you said earlier, I'm all about Mahomes and Chiefs. That's what I am. I'm the biggest Mahomes fan you'll ever meet, and I just love the Chiefs. I'm from Kansas City. I'm born here. So, I mean, Rice is great. I love Rice, but he's replaceable. But Mahomes is not replaceable. But Mahomes is Mahomes. So I'm always just team Mahomes, team what's best for Kansas City. If Rice is not what's best, then it is what it is. You can find Tate. You can draft Tate. You can find someone else. But
Luis.
But yeah, I'm team Chiefs, Mahomes. That's what's best for Mahomes to win more rings. That's the only thing I care about.
Husseini, $20 super chat.
I smell meatloaf.
Husseini, thank you for that. You just extended the show another 17 minutes left in the show.
Boo.
Bro, this is a 10-minute show. We're at 58 minutes, and we have 17 minutes and 30 seconds guaranteed left on the show. It's crazy.
Boo.
What?
No, it's Luis. It's Luis. Like, boo. No, we're not. No. Oh, it's Smitty. If you don't mind, me and Husseini, we found a go at it real quick for like 5 minutes.
Sure.
You okay with that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll mediate. Just keep swearing to a minimum. No fighting. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Husseini. So she's all day, right? Okay, that's what my buddy says. But do you truly believe that the Chiefs are going to be winning for the future?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
years to
of
come?
course.
Woo! Shots fired.
What do you mean?
This was like Step Brothers a minute ago. You guys were two best friends anybody could have. Bunk beds pushed together, crossing streams. Now all of a sudden, shots fired by Luis.
Well, we're gonna be really good friends. Like I respect Husseini.
Don't mess with his drum set, bro.
Ricky Turbo and all them. I respect all of you guys. You guys are the shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you guys are the best. Like, you guys are the best. And but I will say Pats Nation all day, and that's it. That's just me. I mean, I'm not trying to like rough any feathers.
I'll let Hussein.
And I gotta step up.
Go ahead.
Louis, you would be lying to yourself. And I love May, but you would be lying to yourself if you said that you would rather have Drake May over Mahomes, even with Mahomes at his age, at his injury, coming off an injury. You'd be lying to say that you would pick Drake May over Mahomes. Mahomes is Mahomes. He's, besides Tom Brady, he's the greatest to ever touch a football. And so there's no debate. And so I'll give it to Tom Brady. He's the greatest. But outside of Tom Brady, Mahomes is the greatest to ever touch a football. And so even with I trust Mahomes, even without Andy Reid, I trust Mahomes over Vrabel and May. I mean, that's a great, Vrabel and May is great, but it doesn't even touch Mahomes, Andy Reid. We got
an incoming call. We got an incoming call.
Yeah, no.
This is Patrick Mahomes.
No, for sure. No, yeah. Hey, okay, so here comes my little stepping ground. Okay. You're 100% right. Mahomes is the best, but unfortunately, he happens to play in Kansas City. Nothing against you, but a great organization.
Okay. No, let me take over real quickly and just say that. Okay, first of all, Patriots just lost.
I know.
So we need AJ Brown there so that you can actually come in with some ammunition to trash talk. However, you want to argue Brady and all that era, then you're gonna win. No. You're gonna win that debate. But right now, you asked if the Chiefs would win again, which is kind of like saying, "Hey, I don't mean any offense by this, but that dress makes you look fat." Look, KC's gonna win. I'll tell you that right now. Not to mention Kenneth Walker coming in, and then if they draft Carnell Tate, and maybe they don't, but even if they don't, there's still a lot of moves they can make next offseason to address the Rashee Rice situation if it is disastrous. But at the end of the day, like, I know you're just having fun, but the Chiefs are definitely a team that's going to be in contention even this year. Even if Mahomes, like Fields was a great safety, type of move. Look what he did when Russell Wilson was awaiting his turn again. Fields was what? Was it 4-6 or what was it? No, what was it? It was 4 wins out of 6 games. Was it? I forget what it was, but he kept the seat warm. Did a great job. I like Fields. It's
the seat warm is crazy.
I mean, he unfortunately did. I mean, Russell Wilson got out of bed, injured his calf getting out of bed, and they bring Fields in. They're like, here's Jimmy. Here's Russell Wilson's playbook. You're going to wear Russell Wilson's small size 8 shoe, and you got to go out and play football. We're not going to cater or change the team for you, Justin Fields. You got to go out there and still win. Justin went out and won. And I feel bad for Justin Fields because he's never truly developed. He's like a great natural singer that never gets singing lessons, and you don't even let him sing high octaves, or he sings the same song every day. They don't even mix it up. And then everybody judges him when he goes out to perform in a contest. It's like no one's training him. No one's doing anything to help him. He's got so much natural talent. But it's a great move by KC. And Mahomes is going to be asked to do a lot less at the beginning of the year. He'll be running like crazy at the end of the year. Mark my words. It will be at like week 17 or first week of the playoffs. Round 1, probably wild card, I imagine. But if is it crazy to think the Chiefs could miss the playoffs for 1 year? That's if things go awry with Mahomes' situation. He comes back week 5, But I think Mahomes will be ready for week 1 or week 2. They'll ask him to run a lot less. Kenneth Walker will ball out. They draft one of the top 2 wide receivers. And this thing's going to look really good for the Chiefs moving forward. I do also believe that the New England Patriots, hopefully, bring in A.J. Brown eventually. And you guys are balling out too, bro. Both teams, Patriots, Chiefs, have the chance to be two of the best teams in the conference for the next 5 or 10 years. There's really no way to like act like one's not in a good position. I just want to share my piece. I know you're just messing around, but that's how I really feel.
Yeah, I'm just messing around. Like, I don't really think it. I think it's funny. Like, I mean, but Husseini, like, I respect Husseini a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody, like Hammer, especially BBQ. BBQ, you're the mess. Yeah, you are the mess.
What does everybody think?
BBQ's the OG.
What does everybody think of Walker's projections this year, though? Like, what is he? How many games does he play? Does he miss 2?
I hope he plays 6
3.
games. I hope he plays.
I think he'll miss.
He only misses 1.
3 games.
Okay, so we'll say 14 games played. How many yards?
14.
How many yards does he get?
1,100.
And he gets all-purpose. I'd say like 1,200 to 1,300 all-purpose.
I think I'll get more than that.
All-purpose is like 13, 14.
He'll be in the 4. Yeah, 14. Let's call it let's call it 12. I think he could get 1,200 rushing. How many carries would that be on 14 games though? Let's see. So 1,200 yards divided by we'll call it 4.7 yards per carry, let's say. So 255 carries divided by 14 games would be 18?
111?
So 18 carries a game. 18 carries a game. 1,200 yards. Touchdowns, probably I'd say 8 rushing.
Yeah, at least.
Receiving.
Rice is gonna have a great.
I think I'm gonna give. I think I give him more on the
10. 10. Hold on, Luis. Luis, hold on 1 second. 10 TDs. No, you're fine. You're fine. Let me just 10 TDs rushing.
I think he hits that coming in the door. Yeah.
Okay. But that's missing 3 games. And then Luis, how many receptions?
Yeah. For Kenneth Walker?
Mm-hmm.
43? 30, 40, 45, 44, something like that.
Okay.
Have a lot.
So 40, we'll say 43 times. So like 3, let's call it 320. How many receiving touchdowns, DJ? He's getting 18 carries a game.
5.
5 receiving touchdowns?
Yes.
That's crazy.
All right, let me go somebody else.
It's not.
That's crazy.
It's not.
All right.
No. It's not. But go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let me just get an average. How many receiving touchdowns? You could say 5 if you believe what DJ's selling.
No, I mean that's not. I don't think 5 is out of the reach, but I would probably go with. I would probably go with receiving. I'd probably go with like 4.
Let's go with 13.
Pretty close to 5.
Let's go with 13 total touchdowns. I think that's pretty good. 13 to 14. 13 to 14 total TDs. That's a big year, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big year. We're talking about 1,500 yards, missing 2 to 3 games, 1,500 total yards. I'm going to knock it down to 13 just because he's missing that amount of games. So 13 total touchdowns, 43 PPR reception points, 1,500 total yards, 13. That's a top 4 top 4 to 5 running back season.
I think that's what he should be getting.
That's a big year. Now, let's just hope that it's only 2 or 3 games. But point being, this is going to be amazing for Patrick Mahomes to lean on this. And then come playoff time, Mahomes that we know and love will be back to scrambling around. Wouldn't even be surprised if in like week 1 or 2, Mahomes has like a 30-yard run. And everyone's like, what is he doing? It's like, oh my God. Like, think about it. Like, does anybody not picture, what's his face? The announcer that loves Patrick Mahomes. What's his name?
Collinsworth.
Collinsworth. Can
Collinsworth.
anybody not close their eyes
They
and
all
hear
do.
Collinsworth just glazing?
Collinsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing. He's the best ever. Look at a 30-yard run. Never seen it before in my life. Luis with another 20. Luis is like, this show is never going to end. You understand that? This is 11 minutes and 50 seconds left now after adding and applying this $20 super chat. Luis, you're absolute savage. 11:43. I have to add up everything Luis has done today, and then I'm going to put it together collectively as the highest super chat of the year, obviously. And then Luis, you're in the trade calculator for the rest of the year for sure. But no one's gonna knock you off unless Ron Navy comes in and does one of his like end of the year like monstrosity cash drops. But like you're in the top 2 or 3 for the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Luis. You're the absolute monster, man, the myth, the legend. I haven't clicked the Luis animation yet because I've been so busy trying to navigate this. So I did it right there. I'm sorry. Let's see real quickly. Luis says, my bad, Chiefs versus Pats. Okay. Chiefs clear the Pats, Luis, and then bro, this show is insane. Hendy versus Rice. We didn't do that one yet. Okay. Hendy versus Rice. You guys said you let me talk on that for a second. So let me talk on that. And then I'll go around the phone line and see what you guys think about my debate. My debate with myself. I would probably say when we're talking about Hendy versus Rice, we're talking about two players that have tremendous risk, but they both have tremendous upside as well. Thank you, Luis, again. I got this one here. Oh, just Luis dropping another one. He says, I want more Hendy Rice. Now we're at 15 minutes. This show is an hour and 11 minutes, supposed to be 10 minutes, and now we're adding more, which is 10, so 15... 15:10 is the new timer. Luis, straight monster. He's interrupting with the super chat. He's even interrupting his own request for the Rice and Hendy debate. He's dropping his super chats. He can't stop. And he said Ron Navy, which is a nice tribute, a very nice tribute to Ron Navy, who I think he's getting married. I don't know if it's this month or whatnot, but congrats to Ron Navy. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you. All right, my Hendy versus Rice debate. Let me drop Hendy and Rice on screen here. Be easier to have their mugs sitting right here. Here's the crazy part about this is you would have asked me this question like a year ago, why is Rice not moving? My screen is frozen now. Hold on a second. Okay, there it is. I need to restart my computer before I go live next. I need to remember that. Hendy, where's Hendy at? Let me see if I can get Hendy on screen. Okay, so the one thing I'll say about this, though, is Rice is in a very, very, well, they're both in a very critical state of their fantasy football values. This guy walking into 2026, Hendy, is either going to be misused again, and then we're going to have another year of neglect, and then we're going to have a little bit more of a heavy type of concern that he'll ever develop properly. Because it's a wild thing. It's kind of like even in high school, if you don't play like freshman and sophomore of a certain sport, and you have an edge over the rest of the population, you'll lose that edge. You will lose it. You will not be as good as you were if you'd played and developed, and it's a very critical time of development. Your freshman, sophomore year in high school. It's very similar in the pros. Your first 2 or 3, especially first 2 years, are so critical that if you don't develop, you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to lose that edge. And Hendy came in with an edge, and he truly has the capability of being a top 5 running back. Vrabel doesn't, or at least hasn't yet, appeared to understand how good Hendy is, even though they drafted him. And McDaniels doesn't seem to either, even though he and Vrabel drafted Hendy. It's kind of head scratching. It's almost like it's just almost like one of those oxymorons where it's like they don't like him. Then why'd they draft him? They drafted him. Of course they like him. Not necessarily. I don't understand what it is. This guy walks in and starts for 2 games while Stevenson's injured, and he's the best running back in the league in a 2-game span. He has 3 50-yard touchdowns in that 2-game span. led the league in 50-plus yard touchdowns, obviously. No one was better than him. He didn't ever falter during that string of 2 games where he started. And yeah, there was a little bit of concern of pass protection in that offense, not his understanding of pass protection, not his ability to pass protect. Anybody that said Hendy wasn't a good pass protector didn't know ball. Sorry, but they don't know football. He came out of college as one of the best pass protecting running backs to come out in the last 10 years. The problem is he didn't understand the offense, didn't know where to be. That has nothing to do with pass protection. It has to do with him not knowing where to be at what point here or there. And then he lets his quarterback get smashed, and everybody says he doesn't know how to pass block. He just needs to learn the system. By the time Stevenson got injured and Hendy came in and started for 2 games, there was no more grave mistakes by Hendy at that point. And this guy never fumbled the ball once in college. He did fumble in the pros one time, kind of around Stevenson's fumbleitis period, which was head scratching and like, God, how do you fumble now? Never fumbled in college. Is not going to be a fumbler at all. This guy is so on point with that part of his game. And he's got a whole offseason now under his belt, or he will, walking in and learning the system. My thinking is that at the end of the day, Hendy will find his way onto the field because Stevenson either fumbles the ball away, he gets injured, he's getting older, he's taken a lot of wear and tear. They do plan to use Hendy more, I'm sure, as he walks into his second season. This is a coaching staff sum total that is wanting the rookies to learn the game before they throw them into the fire. I understand all that. There is going to be some inherent risk and concern that they won't fully buy into Hendy, and that if Stevenson plays well, that Hendy won't ever fully grab the job. All those risk factors are at play, and that's what makes him a freaking 4th-round pick. He's going in the 4th round, 4th or 5th round. Rice, on the other hand, is a guy, if you asked me a year and a half ago if I would rather have Rice or anybody not named Puka, not named Chase, not named JSN, there'd be a small list. I would say I want Rice. Give me Rice on my Dynasty roster. A year and a half ago, top 5 to 7 wide receiver. The talent is there. The talent is there. For some reason, the Chiefs struggle with wide receivers right now. They have for years now. And I don't know what it is. Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. It's constant. Even with rookies in general. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Brashard Smith, Royals. Like they just, even with Brashard Smith, you have Andy Reid act like he was the best running back in the league. You talk about him in the offseason, in between weeks and say, yeah, Brashard Smith, really good in practice, catching everything. We're really going to unleash him in this next week or two. Never saw him. I don't even think he had a jersey on. It's crazy to me, but Reid has been mismanaging all of the rookies and talent for a little while now. Even though I do believe Reid still has the mind for the league, and I don't think it's passed him by like I do think of some other older coaches because the league is changing. I think Reid is adaptable. Reid is like a chameleon in that he can have a running attack and have a Jamal Charles type attack, and then he can switch over and have a Patrick Mahomes #1 quarterback, Tyreek Hill. Like he's definitely gone with the flow of wherever the talent has been. So the concern, though, is for whatever reason, the Chiefs seem doomed at the wide receiver position. It would do them a service to draft Carnell Tate, high character guy, comes in, doesn't drop footballs, doesn't make mistakes, and he replaces Rashee Rice as the #1 wide receiver on the team, which might rub Husseini wrong initially, but at the end of the day, he'll be grateful for it. Because if this guy does not deserve to be replaced, they probably don't take the gamble on Carnell Tate. And then 2 years from now, you don't have Rice and you don't have Tate. You kind of want them to doubt Rice enough right now that you can replace him with Tate because Tate will be every bit as good. I guess my final answer is this. I take a gamble on Hendy in Dynasty. I believe Hendy's in no bad situation at all, outside of football. That that's the part that really concerns me here. Rice is in trouble again, and who knows if he gets suspended again. He got a 6-game suspension last time. He's on probation. He's a repeat offender, and now he's got a domestic situation boiling over, and we don't know what the NFL is going to do. So you give this man another 6-game suspension. you're not extending him next year because he's missing a big chunk of time. He's got to jive and mingle with the offense again. So there's a true red flag here. If you told me, though, that I don't know if let's say you know for a fact Rice is not going to get suspended, the whole thing's going to go away. This is a new thing for those watching. If you think Rice is going to be fine, and you could guarantee me that, then we probably have like a little bit of an even Steven race going where I still lean with the kid that has his head on straight, that isn't in any trouble, and he's playing in a situation where Stevenson's guaranteed nothing beyond, this next year. And so the future is bright for Hendy. Hendy's my final answer. Rashee Rice, I close my eyes. I don't see him in the next 4 years for some reason. I just can't. I don't know where he's going to be. I don't know what jersey he's going to wear. Does he fizzle out? Is his head on straight? Doesn't appear to be. And as I said earlier with like the Puka situation, how I'm so scared that you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You don't see anybody clean up their act because it's an arrested development mentality. These guys have never had a chance to really even have childhoods. They come into the NFL as young men that haven't even developed really yet emotionally, mentally, and they start hitting people for a living. And so Rice, like becoming some model citizen overnight, it doesn't happen because they're also getting hit in the head constantly. It's just a no-win proposition. Try and put the genie back in the bottle. Name a diva receiver that went off the rails that got pulled back. It falls apart. Ayuk's got worse every single day. AB got progressively worse every single day. Now, Rice doesn't seem to have some of that. He doesn't seem to be messed up, like necessarily when you talk to him and like, oh, this guy's, he just makes really poor decisions and puts himself in the worst situations. And I don't necessarily feel like this is like a, CTE driven type of thing, but he's obviously in a bad spot. Luis dropping another super chat. Let me go over to Luis in 1 second and see if that answered his question, but let me answer this one real quick. Trade Garrett Wilson for T. Wash and a 27 first rounder. Man, chat, can we vote on that? Dynasty, Garrett Wilson, who we love. And if he played in New England, boy, would he be a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. And boy, would that, satisfy everybody even more than the A.J. Brown to New England situation. I've been talking about Garrett Wilson quietly getting traded to New England. One of those Waddle to Denver Broncos under the radar trades that no one's talking about. I think Garrett Wilson's got a potential to move. That's where I would want him. But knowing he's a Jet right now in a abyss of darkness, I think I'd rather have the 27 first rounder in Parker Washington. But damn, I hate saying that. I just don't know that you're going to get the value out of. Can we vote on that one, guys? I know we want to say Garrett Wilson. I want to say Garrett Wilson. My brain, like, where's the first rounder going to be? I guess is where, if it's like a late pick, I guess give me Garrett Wilson and I try and do better or try and get more. But if it's even a mid could potentially be early, I take the chance. Luis dropping another super chat puts us at 8 minutes and 55 seconds. Let me change the clock over to 8:55. Thank you, Luis, you absolute straight savage. Chat, keep voting on that one. This is such a tough question. And Luis says, Husseini, you're the GOAT. Let's keep it going, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me celebrate that super chat with a standing ovation for Luis. Luis, thank you. All right, go ahead, Luis. Did that satisfy you and Husseini, the Hendy versus Rashee Rice? Probably didn't satisfy Husseini, to be honest, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, like I just, like let's just do it, man. I mean, I don't know. So Hendy versus Rashee Rice. Definitely Husseini, he won the first fight, like by a lot, because he hit me with that low blow. I mean, I'm not going to say that he did. But anyways, definitely the Chiefs are higher right now than the Pats by a lot. I just think our defense is better. And I just think that we're one piece away, man. We're one piece away. And you say Mahomes is this, and that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I saw Brady play. He's not Mahomes. He's better than Mahomes. So, moving forward, I think we're going to be going back and forth for the next 3, 4, 5 years, to be honest with you, bro. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I think that they're two teams to be reckoned with. This guy Alex keeps asking this one. Let me answer him real quickly. Smitty, thoughts on MHJ? We did a show. We did this on the earlier show, I think, the 8 p.m. show. So go back and try to find that. I think we did it on the 8 p.m. show. Yeah, we did. I think it was a caller was in the middle of calls, but I don't know, bro. Nobody knows what MHJ is going to do. The bottom line is I think Michael Wilson should be ranked higher than MHJ, but the ADP doesn't show that. So I take advantage of the cost of entry Michael Wilson, and I go running back, quarterback, or tight end shopping where MHJ goes. And then I grab, like in best ball specifically, I'll grab Brissett, and then I'll grab Michael Wilson, and I'll have the duo. And it'll be very cheap. But I don't know. MHJ's got a lot of upside. I still am not writing off the talent, but for whatever reason, he can't stay healthy and hasn't fit in. Maybe that changes with the new situation. And, you know, it's possible LaFleur is able to get him cooking. It's possible Brissett would jive with anybody, and we just need MHJ on the field to see that. And that could explain some things, you know, like maybe Wilson still does good, but maybe MHJ just needs to be present. And we kind of saw like a couple games of that. It was at least the one game, if I remember correctly, where we're like, MHJ, bro, touchdown. He looked great. We thought it was going to be good, and then he couldn't stay healthy. But I'm not investing a ton in MHJ. I'd almost say like if I did 10 drafts, I wouldn't want him in one. If I did 20 drafts, I'd want him in one. So that would be 5%, ownership. So drafting in 10 drafts, I wouldn't take a chance. I probably would be far less likely to own MHJ in non-best ball in home leagues, and I'd take a better chance in best ball because you're not responsible for starting him. He gets started for you, and he does have the potential to have a couple big games. I think he is very capable of that. Very talented player, but so is BTJ, and BTJ is in fail state right now. MHJ's in fail state. Can they be revived? Maybe. All right, let me circle around the phone line here. Who do we still got on the phone line? DJ, what else you got?
Hendy.
Yeah, I'll say this and I'll get off the line. One of the best shows.
Hey, DJ,
ever.
real quick.
One of the best shows ever. One of the best shows ever. And especially the Dynasty content, because I'm fairly new, like 3 years, so I'm learning a lot. I'll say this and hang up. My thought on the KC and my thought on the KC and the New England thing. Yeah, Mahomes is proven he's won the chips. If you look at May, this is again my opinion. May is capable of that. He did take him to the championship, but Mahomes, he's had Travis Kelce, and I don't think it really matters. No, it does matter. But Mahomes will make whoever it is he decides to make his number one. He's like that good. So in terms of Rice, whether he stays or goes, Tyson comes in, somebody else. If Mahomes wants to, make him number one, he will. He's just that good. That's the difference. May's not there yet. Nor is Allen, which is to say, but from a fantasy perspective, Allen, May, number two, Allen, 3, if that makes any sense. But they both, just to summarize, May can get there, but he's not quite there when it comes to the chips. He needs help. Mahomes has had some help, but not as much help as what we think. Mahomes is just that dude.
Yeah, I think Hammer kept saying that Diggs was chop liver, Diggs out 1,000 yards, but I just think Diggs is kind of a tough player to like. Diggs got pretty. I would say Diggs got more lucky than May got lucky in terms of that relationship, and I think that May just fed him in ways that didn't feel like it didn't feel like Diggs was taking over games. There's a couple of games where he felt pretty solid, but they would have brought him back if they felt that he was taking over games and they had that elite wide receiver. But yeah, and real quickly, Luis wanted to talk to you real quickly. I think he was saying something, but what would you try and get from moving Rice? McGee says, Egbuka, I know that you're not going to get him straight up, but well, maybe you can. Maybe you can actually. I would say Puka. I'd trade Rice for Puka. I would Hendy. We just got through talking about Hendy, and as why Bucky would be intriguing, although there's some risk factors there. CeeDee Lamb's very underrated, and some of these you're not going to get straight up. You got to understand that my thinking is never just one for one. I'm thinking about giving up future draft picks if I need to upgrade. Sometimes the easiest way out of a player that you question is to upgrade them, even though logic tells you that you can't upgrade them because you're trying to get rid of them. Who wants them? But upgrading them requires a 2 or 3 for 1, and that's the best invention ever made for fantasy football trades because you're distracting like a magic trick the receiving party by saying, "Look at this over here! I got it first, future 2020 first rounder and Rashee Rice for your freaking stud player," and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. So if you're trying to move Rice, try and go upward. Don't try and do this 1-for-1 swap because then people see Rice for what he is. You can't disguise Rice in a 1-for-1, but you can disguise Rice in a magic trick where you're sending 2-3 players away. Rice being one of those 2 or 3 players to get one player you trust more. And also, what about Wilson? Ironically, you have both. I think, unfortunately, the move for Wilson is to hold him because his ADP is behind MHJ, and it shouldn't be, which tells you that you're not getting anything close to the right value. It's like trying to trade a car in where, you're going to end up being upside down on the car if you trade it in. You might as well keep it and ride it out until it evens out, or the wheels fall off. I don't think, unless you upgrade there too, which you could do. I mean, I could find a trade. Like give Wilson and a future first for a little safer player than Wilson that you think could blow up like Puka. Like that would be amazing. Or you throw Wilson in to move your 1.10 to the 1. Or your 1.6 to the 1.3 or something like that. Or you can move the 1.2 to the 1.1 and get Jeremiah Love. Like things like that you could absolutely do. Thank you, McGee, for the 2 super chats. Go ahead, Luis, and talk to DJ real quick, and then the timer's ticking down, and we'll be out of here. And no pressure on anybody you've already done enough, but obviously anybody does extend it will abide by the rules. But go ahead, Luis, and talk to DJ. You're trying to say something to him before DJ hung up.
I'm here.
DJ, honestly, like it's just like I was just trying to tell you, like, hey man, keep going, man. Like, don't stop what you're doing, man. Just do it yourself, man. Just do what you're doing, man.
Keep it up. That's what Luis is telling you.
Honestly,
DJ.
because sometimes DJ can be like, hey, Smitty, like, hey, I'm trying to work on my skills, and honestly, like he's such a good vibe.
Sometimes we cut DJ off. Like DJ knows he's long-winded, and that's a talent. There's nothing wrong with being long-winded, but when we do sometimes have a timer, we'll rush him. And I think what Luis was picking up, and by the way, Husseini extended the show another 5 minutes. Husseini to the moon. Thank you, Husseini. I think what he is sensing, DJ, is that we'll oftentimes be like, you have 30 seconds, and then you get cut off. So naturally, DJ's got a little bit of a sense of urgency when he gets on the phone because he's not sure how much time he has. Because he could get hung up on it any second, which is that's negative.
Okay, man. Like it's all good, man. Like you're doing your thing, man. Like we respect you. You're doing the best, and
right.
And then
right on,
don't realize,
Louis.
Yeah,
don't realize that it was
Louis cracks me up.
and myself twice.
Louis is Louis, you're a good man. You're a good man, dude. Right on.
Hey, man, like,
who's Luis remind me of?
Yeah,
you're doing your thing, man. Like it's all.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I get it. It's all, I get it.
DJ,
no love lost.
DJ.
What's going on here?
If you don't mind me asking you, where are you from? What part of the U.S. is you from?
I'm in Atlanta. Grew up in Long Island, but Atlanta's home. But yeah, real quick, I'll say this and hang up.
All right, go ahead, DJ.
Keep going.
DJ's got to go to work, Luis. He's got to get up and. Luis.
I gotta go.
Yeah, when I grow up,
I
want to be like Luis.
Luis, we'll stay up.
Be like Luis.
Luis,
Look,
we'll stay it as
Smitty,
long as you want.
I wanted to be like you, man. I wanted to be like you, man. Smitty, I want to be, but I want to be like Luis.
All right, hold on,
quick.
Luis.
No,
Luis,
sir.
hold on.
No, sir.
Hold on. Go ahead, DJ.
Appreciate it. So, in terms of just Rice's value in KC, Walker, I think they'll lean on him. It just makes perfect sense. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenyon Sadiq ends up there. I don't see any, reason why not, or one of those receivers.
Or Stowers later. Stowers would be great.
Or yeah, exactly. I could definitely see that. In terms of the overall Chiefs and that debate in New England, yeah, New England is not what KC is, and that X factor is Mahomes. And what we don't want with May, which is again the whole AJB thing, Pats do need to go big or go home. And the reason is, you want somebody that can help lift May as opposed to May lifting everybody else. And the fact that he did that and he exhibited the ability to do that, similar to Mahomes, to the moon. So go big or go home.
DJ,
Louise, family, everything. Smitty, best show on the planet. This is one of the best shows, since I've
Thanks,
been
DJ.
watching. More Dynasty.
DJ to the moon. Later, bro. Luis just dropped another 20. He says, we're not done. Luis, I could go all night. So, you do whatever you need to do and, make sure it's good. Like, don't do what you can't do. I'm not saying that in a, I just want to make sure, I appreciate you. And, you're the man. Extending another 10 or 5 minutes is Luis.
I think Husseini dropped one too.
Is this a new one as well, or did I didn't apply that?
No, sir.
Okay. Husseini to the moon. That's we're now at 12.
I think we're honestly just trying to make the show about him and myself. Like, we're about to go, just
nuclear. You guys are, bro. What's gonna happen when the alarm goes off? It says Husseini and Luis, time for work.
Well, I do. Tomorrow's my last day in my route, so I'm gonna switch over. I need to honestly, I need to go to sleep at now. But it's okay. It's all good. So it's Husseini versus Luis, and we're gonna let's make the shit fun. It's all
okay.
Come on, Husseini.
Let me go to Husseini and see who you guys have been dropping wads all night. Husseini, you're live. On a 10-hour show.
There's a lot to unpack, but back to fantasy. I don't even know where to begin. We talked about so much, but as far as the right
actually, let me throw some stuff at you guys. Okay, let me mix it up.
Sir.
First of all, Travesty just dropped a $20 super chat. Travesty says trade BT. No, Travesty traded BTJ for 27 first and a second earlier today. You look, that's a win. Could it backfire? Maybe. But you could flip this Travesty for something equal in value of BTJ not dropping the ball. So this is like turning basically a home that you can't flip but is worth the same amount as a home you're about to buy that's easier to flip. And in worst case scenario, BTJ does really well. You regret it in a way, but then you look at your first rounder, and if you do flip it right, you won't lose any value at all. And if it does become an early first rounder, it might be gold. So I first of all, thank you for the extension. I smell meatloaf. Did I just drop the time, or did I not change it for Travesty? Do I need to add another 5? My brain is all over the place.
I believe you do. I need to.
It should be 15.
Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes is in. Thank you, Travesty. Okay, let me flip the script on you guys. Because rather than just talk about the same damn thing over and over, let me ask you questions. And no long answers. Literally, you get 5 or 6 words if you are going to answer it all. And I'm going to put a couple players on screen. And you tell me, and I'll call on I'll call on you one at a time, though. Who you like better for Dynasty 2026? This one goes to Husseini. Travis Etienne, Dynasty, or Kenneth Walker, Dynasty. You got 6 to I'll call it 6 to 10 words of explanation that aren't included in your answer. You could say Kenneth Walker, and then you got 6 to 10 words you can use roughly. Go.
K9, because the Chiefs will rely on him a lot more than the Saints will with ETN.
All right, go ahead, Luis. ETN, Walker, Dynasty, go.
Walker, 1,000%. That offense is so much better, and I love Chuck. I mean, at the same time, it's like Mahomes is probably one of, if not the best quarterback in the league right now, to be honest with you.
Okay. This one goes to a little over 6 to 10 words, but I like that you're trying. Bucky Irving. Hold on. I'm not done yet. Hendy on the other side, but I'm not done. And we're gonna go with everything's Dynasty. I don't need to clarify that anymore. We're on the Dynasty show. Olave is gonna be paired with Bucky. And let's see here. We're gonna go Lad McConkey with Hendy. So Hendy and Lad, or Olave and Bucky, Dynasty. 10 words. We'll call it 10 to 15 words max after you give me your answer. Which side do you want? Lad and Hendy. Chat, you can play along. Lad and Hendy, Bucky, Olave. Dynasty, go. Luis.
Hendy, explosive, better teams moving forward. Fight me.
Husseini, Lad and Hendy, Bucky, Olave.
Okay, you said Bucky alone?
Bucky or Olave, Lad, Hendy.
Oh. In a vacuum, I'm picking Lad Hendy, but my favorite player is Bucky, but if we're doing double, I'm going Lad Hendy because I'd say Lad and Olave is kind of a wash, but then Hendy over Bucky because I think there's a lot more question marks with Bucky than Hendy.
All right. Husseini, Xavier Worthy, or Michael Wilson Jr.?
Oh, you're just trying to bait me here.
Chat, keep voting, chat. Keep voting, chat. I want to see the chat voting on this, every single one of these.
You're gonna think I'm biased, but I'm going Worthy because I think everyone is counting him out, and
I don't hate that.
I think because of last year, they think that he's just never gonna be anything, but I don't believe that. I think his injury had a lot to do with it, and his wide receivers coach had a lot to do with it. That guy was terrible.
Okay.
I think
10 seconds. 10 words are up. You got to fit it in. That's part of the rules of this segment. Luis, I'm not only am I asking you, hold on. Not only am I asking the same question, I'm adding Zay Flowers to the mix, and I'm also adding Parker Washington. So you have to pick one player out of these four: P. Wash, Flowers, Wilson, Worthy, Dynasty. 10 words after you tell me who.
Okay, so I'm not. This doesn't count until you freaking brought up P. Wash.
What?
I said 10 words after. Anyways, P. Wash. I love Rice.
Rice.
No. Okay. Sorry. Okay. P. Washington. I was gonna go Mike Wilson, straight up, but then you brought up Zay Flowers and P. Wash, and I'm like, oh.
So pick what you said. P. Okay, P. Wash. Okay, but all right.
All day.
Your 10 words are up already. Okay. Let's see here. George Pickens Husseini.
It's my favorite player. Let's see who he's up against.
Okay, since I'm going to have a tough time getting you to say anything else, let me make this more complicated. So we're gonna go Pickens on one side. We're gonna go BTJ on the other. So clearly your answer is Pickens at this point. But will it be when I'm done with it? Okay, now we're gonna go over to the running back side. I'm gonna put a player like, let's say, Jeremiah Love on the BTJ side. And I'm gonna grab a running back. Let's call it let's call it Brees Hall. So Brees Hall and Pickens or BTJ Love.
That's really hard. I'm going to go with BTJ Love because I think Love is the safest out of all four, and I think BTJ will bounce back.
Okay, Luis.
I'm honestly gonna go Brees Hall. I'm honestly gonna go Brees Hall and Pickens just because Brees Hall is him, and if he gets traded away, just because like he has a deal, but if he does go,
10 words are up.
Else,
you got 5 more words. Go 5 more words. You guys got to get into the 10. You guys are forgetting there's 10 words every time.
Pickens, Hall, explosive.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Tootin in Dynasty, Husseini?
Good.
Or this one's going to be hard. Like, I'd love to know what the chat thinks of this one. Because there's win now mentalities, and there's also what if mentality. Because Tootin is a what if. Derrick Henry or Tootin?
Tootin.
Chat, is anybody in the chat saying give me the 1 year of Derrick Henry? And because you truly don't know if Tootin gets replaced in the draft and doesn't escape the draft, and you could have Derrick Henry. It's something to think about. But I would agree. I would take the gamble on Tootin personally. But I got a Henry vote right off the bat from Aldi and Gio. And I think obviously how your team looks, the build of it, would definitely trigger, you to go in one direction or the other. Because Travis, thank you again for that super chat. You're the man, bro. Henry. Come on, bring the votes in. We need more votes. Okay, here's another one. Let me make this a little bit more. Luis, Manungai or Tootin? Manungai or Tootin Dynasty?
Tootin.
Husseini, Tootin or Manungai?
On that end, I'm going to go Manungai.
I love both of them. And both could vanish from the earth, and neither one of them be a good player for 2027 and beyond, or one or both could be a lot better than people expect. Chat, vote on that one. Jordan James, 49er backup, gets in there and explodes because McCaffrey gets injured or something. Or Jaylen Warren. This is Dynasty, remember. The answer should be Jaylen Warren, but I'm just wondering if I can pique anybody's interest. Warren's intriguing this year, but he is in a situation where I don't know. No one's gonna answer that one. James Warren.
Oh, yeah, Warren. Just because, in Dynasty, I don't know what Jordan James will be or can be. So,
yeah. I agree. That's a good way to look at it. If anybody was going to go, we got a lot of Jordan James fans, so I just wanted to measure the temperature of Jordan James.
Honest, hey, I'm not trying to be funny, but Smitty, can I take a lap because I have no idea who Jordan James is?
He's the backup running back in San Francisco. You
told me that earlier.
Yeah, there's a slim chance that he gets like a chance. That if he did, he would have some dynasty appeal. So that's very much a spec play. He shouldn't be getting a vote. I just thought it would be funny. But he is an intriguing prospect. Here's another one that's kind of wild because you don't know what the values are. Chuba Hubbard, who's very intriguingly undervalued, but also kind of risky to have. Or Bashal Tootin. Let's go to Husseini.
Oh, the fuck.
I'm going Tootin. I'm really high on Tootin, and I'm when I realized you were as well. When I first found you, I was really happy because I love Tootin. So I would take the gamble on Tootin. He's younger too, so.
All right, let's go over to the quarterbacks. I have somebody saying Cam Ward, and was it Mendoza? That's a good one. I'll throw that one out here. Let's go over to Luis. Cam Ward or Mendoza? Mendoza, Cam Ward. What do you hear?
Cam Ward.
Hey,
Cam Ward.
Husseini, Cam Ward or Mendoza?
I
think I know it.
Fantasy perspective, yeah, Cam Ward. I think he can produce more points. Fantasy wise, yeah.
I'm gonna be the opposite here. I'm gonna say I want Mendoza. I like Cam Ward. I feel like we've kind of seen what Cam Ward can be. I don't think he's capped. I don't think he's somebody that can't become a lot better than he is right now. But I kind of feel a little more CJ Stroud like ceiling than and Mendoza. While he could flop, he really could. I don't know. I think he could be something a little bit more special. And there's a lot of value over there. A lot of targets, and Tennessee's an exciting team for sure. They're building pretty well. But Mendoza is going to be set up to just be efficient. I think Mendoza ends up being kind of like Bo Nix this year. Not necessarily in year one, but I mean the way Bo Nix was this year, where he's just kind of quietly 5 to 8, type quarterback production. Mendoza in a calendar year, give him a year, he might show signs of it, but in his sophomore year, he'll probably be producing that like wildly. He's QB 9. He's QB 11. He's QB. I don't think he'll ever be top 5, but I also don't think Ward will be top 5. So I'm going to go with Mendoza here. $2 hauler from Yeet says, any faith in Jonathan Brooks? Almost little to none, because the last report we got was they're hopeful that he'll be able to be ready for the year. They're not even like sure anymore. So like, what, do you have another setback? So I have zero. I'm getting rid of it. I've said that for years now. Every year, sell Jonathan Brooks while there's value at all. Kyler Murray, Dynasty, or this one's for Husseini. Kyler Murray, Dynasty, or, I'm trying to pick something. Daniel Jones.
Kyler Murray. And I'm not even a Kyler Murray fan, but
yeah,
in fantasy it's different. He can run. He has JJ.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But you have people that think Kyler's done and trash, and so I think it's a great question because I feel like Kyler's undervalued. This one's for Luis, Malik Willis, or Kyler.
Oof. If I may ask, is Malik Willis getting a wide receiver this year? Or is he?
Your guess is as good as mine. They do draft at number 11.
Kyler Murray all day. A-Chain is probably gonna be gone. I don't
think A-Chain will be there, but you probably will have JJ versus. It may be a rookie. It may be Mekhi Lemon. I think they'll draft a receiver. But okay, no, I think you made your point. Let's go tight end shopping. Husseini, we've got Mr. Tyler Warren on the front stage. Mr. Tyler Warren, please report to the front stage. And then the music's cued on the side stage for Harold Fannin Jr. Warren or Fannin?
Ooh, that is tough. That is really tough.
Chat, keep voting, chat.
But
what are we doing?
If I had to pick, that is really tough. I got to think of all the variables here. To me, they're the
You're
same.
like
they're the
20,
same thing.
20 words, by the way.
Oh,
21? Odds a word.
gun to my head. If I had to pick, I would probably pick Tyler Warren. As much as I don't know. That's tough.
Honestly,
I would
you probably are on the same. I'm on the same page as you. I love Fannin. Biggest Fannin show you'll find. Period. But it doesn't mean that Tyler Warren still isn't amazing and top 3 capable. He's 100%. People forget how good Warren is. They just, because things
really
went
good.
awry. Warren's a monster. All right, hold on one second. We got an extension from Luis. Luis, $20 super chat, wants this to go to 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Luis has dropped so many super chats. My system's coming to a crawl. When I hit buttons, it takes forever to load.
I know.
Is this 2 super chats?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he put 2 in.
Back to back. Jeez, bro.
I want somebody else to call because like you're not gonna let us like me and Husseini, we're gonna have our little. Chat.
What is this?
Like,
Yeah, this is like a Hussein. You know, eventually this show's gonna have just 2 viewers. It'll be Husseini's phone and Luis's phone and me, and then we're just like, still. Why don't I just call you guys on 3-way real quick?
It's not even about It's not even about that. It's about having fun.
Eventually, I'm just gonna be like, let's end the show, and I'll just call you guys on 3-way while you're driving to work real quick.
No.
Okay, hold on. Here's the next question, Luis.
Fanning.
No, I haven't asked you the question yet. I got to put the timer up. Hold on. 13. Is it 13? 13 minutes? It's 13 minutes.
It's 18. Oh, sorry. My bad.
No, 13.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 13 minutes. Okay, here's my question. My question gets a little bit more complicated for Luis. And that question is, Fannin or Warren, you get to choose that as like the field choice, right? You get either one. Fannin or Warren or Loveland.
Fanning. 1,000%.
Okay. Husseini, Fannin or Warren or Loveland.
Loveland has Ben Johnson, so I don't know. Man, it's tough. I'd probably still go with Warren. I think he's out of the 3. I think I'd go with him. But I love Ben Johnson, so I go with Warren.
Okay. Last tight end question. Let's make this one complicated. Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. They're on opposite sides here. Okay, and then everybody in the chat, get ready to vote. I'm not done yet. We're gonna go with Jahmyr Gibbs with Bowers. We're gonna go Ashton Genty with McBride, and I'm not done.
Oh my God!
I'm not done.
Oh my God, bro!
I'm not done. Hold on. And then we're gonna go wide receiver. We're going to put Puka with McBride and Genty. My computer's just coming to a crawl. It's like,
that's so fucked.
Hold on. Watch the language for, not that it matters today, but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Or well, it's just because it's just the monetization, but or Alave. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
You're fine, bro. You've more than made up for that today. I try and keep it, and to be honest with you guys, it's not just about monetization. I swear like a sailor. You know, like I've done calls before with draft calls, where because I used to have a draft call service where people pay for a draft call. I get on the phone with them and they'd be like, you know, and I don't mind saying like, you know, shit and stuff once in a while on the channel, but when people drop consistent F-bombs, it starts to like a magnet create a roughneck environment. And that's really like I've had 25 plus years of experience creating communities. I mean, you guys can tell it's a pretty good community, right? Part of it is because I tame that because it leaves the roughnecks out. Like, if everybody's cursing like a sailor on the Patreon, then before you know it, a lot of people get driven away. And it ends up, people listen to it at work. They have the volume up, and if people are dropping F-bombs, then 4 people might stop listening at work. And so it's more than just monetization. It's more about that. But I curse like a sailor. But I was on a draft call. Somebody paid for a draft call, and I was on the phone with them, and they're like, "Hey, shit, Smitty." You say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say." And I'm like, bro, I don't care if you swear off the, like I swear all the time. But it's more about the community. All right. So let me get rid of this graphic. Chris Olave. I'm moving Puka at the top. Okay. So Puka, Gibbs, and Bowers. This is for Husseini first.
My answer.
Puka, Gibbs, and Bowers. Olave, Genty, McBride. Chat vote. I switched
That
it.
just changed my answer. So now I'm going with Bowers, Gibbs, and Puka because
So fucking crazy, bro.
out of the 6, Olave to me is the weakling. So I'm going with Bowers, Gibbs. As much as I love Genty, he's my favorite player. But Bowers, I mean, I think Bowers is Bowers, Gibbs is Gibbs, and then I think the Puka has better upside
Bowers is
than
Bowers.
Olave. So
I like that.
Smitty, are you doing it like a vote like yesterday, or like you're just doing like straight up like just vote in the chat?
The what?
Are you doing it like a vote like yesterday, like where like people can like just click on them?
Oh no, that's only a mobile. I can only put a poll up on mobile. The chat's just yelling the names out. So we're getting a consistent Bowers side. Bowers gives Puka. Bowers gives Puka. And look, I'll tell you this: Bowers and McBride to me are one and the same. I know McBride had a year, but Bowers was injured, and we didn't get to see what he could do. So Bowers,
Puka's better, man. Puka
over Olave for me. But guess what? Olave, there's a real chance Olave gets paid massively here very soon, which will hurt Pickens' likelihood of getting a deal and not getting. He might end up getting traded because of Olave. Olave could really put a wrench in the George Pickens. Like he could actually really make Pickens' life harder if he doesn't get the money we think he should get, and then Pickens has a baseline of Olave, and then Pickens is like, my baseline is freaking Puka and JSN, and Jerry's like, no. It's Olave. I don't know what Olave's going to get, but Olave's probably getting a new deal. And if it doesn't happen, I mean, if they wait, which the Saints could wait, they're going to pay through the roof next offseason, especially if he does well. If he doesn't do well, maybe not. But then you're really banking on your player not doing well. So, they'll be smart to get this deal done now while they can still get away with like $34 million or something. I think next year, if you have Puka, you have JSN, you've got George Pickens probably at 40 or 39 or whatever it ends up being. You got JJ at 35. You got Jamar Chase at 40. Your odds are you walk into next offseason with at least 1 or 2 $40 million wide receiver deals. And then Olave's in the 39-40 range instead of 33, 34, or 35. I mean, maybe Olave could get 35. I don't know what Olave's market is. We thought that Godwin would get 27, 28. He got 23, but we heard that he did get offered 27, 28 from New England and turned it down for $23 million to stay in Tampa. And then we heard, when that happened, though, we heard that he wouldn't pass a physical. And part of the reason he didn't go outside because he wouldn't pass a physical in Tampa Bay didn't have a physical. And so he's able to sign without passing or failing a physical, which was part of the story that came out. But anyway. All right, boys, let me hit the phone line, see if anybody else wants to call in real quickly. Here's the phone line. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I mean, we're really getting into the wee hours of the night, aren't we? This is a 2-hour show with 5 minutes left on the timer being extended with $20 super chats for 5 extra minutes. That is crazy. Luis and Husseini been at work all night just terrorizing the show. Let's open that phone line. I know it's late. A lot of people aren't potentially going to call in because they're getting ready for work maybe. I don't know. You don't have to answer this question, but Husseini, I don't know if you've ever told me and I just forgot. What line of work are you in? You don't have to tell me where. Don't tell everybody where they can find you. But what line of work is it? You can even just say something vague. You don't have to tell us exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's fine me because, so I work for. It's a family. We have a family business. It's a limo company, transportation and stuff. So
very cool.
My dad started it 30 years ago, and so I just worked into the family business instead of
I
have the traditional.
I have something I want to run by you later at some point. Just a funny idea that I'll talk to you about it later. Luis, again, don't tell us where. I don't want people tracking you down and when your fantasy advice you spat out on the phone line one time pissed them off. Believe me, that world exists. What kind of work do you do? Sales?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I just sell beer, man. That's all I do, man.
What?
I do. That's all I do.
Oh, okay. Sweet, bro. Okay. Appreciate you.
I mean, I used to drive 18. I had a CDO for a while, so I used to do that, but I got promoted, so I live in Texas, so yeah, that's it.
Texas, attaboy. Husseini,
yes,
LOL, last time. Oh, Louis, I'm reading a super chat that's $20 hauler extender. Husseini, one last time, says Luis. Luis says what? Husseini drops one last. So we got 13 minutes now. These guys, 13 minutes exactly. Unreal.
I love
Luis
this
says,
shit, man. I love it. I love
Mahomes
it.
is king. Jeez, these guys. These guys
Travis
are just...
picked the worst day.
He
Travis
did.
Picked the worst day.
I was going to say Travis.
I did. I just messaged
He's gonna
Travis.
watch
I'm like, you took the wrong night to...
He's gonna watch it tomorrow. He'll be like, oh man, that's great.
He took the wrong night off.
And we appreciate you. We're not gonna do nothing crazy, bro. I'll promise you. We're just gonna be talking. I mean, it's just gonna be a phone line between Husseini and myself. I'm probably gonna let him take the lead. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna be. He can talk all he wants. I'm just gonna be here.
Oh, you're saying the last 12 minutes. Well, I don't think Husseini wants to talk for 12 minutes. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I did a live stream before. I do some local live stream stuff, and I had two guys that honestly I forget who they were now. Forget that. One of them changed their names, and he's been watching, but I always forget it's him because he changed his YouTube name or whatever. But they were kind of talking a little bit of trash. I could do what you're doing. And so I was on my phone. We're live streaming on my phone, and I'm reading questions, I'm answering super chats. I'm swiping here, swiping left. And I go, oh, yeah? So I handed the phone to him, and he cracked in 3 minutes. He's like, just take the phone back. He was completely stressed out. He did it. He had to talk. He had to read the super chats. He had to scroll. There's a lot to do. Even talking for 12 minutes it's kind of a tough feat. It really is. Imagine I did a 24-hour live stream when I first started this thing to promote it. And I think I had between 5 and 11 people in the live stream at any one moment. And when it dropped below 10, I'd start freaking out. And I'm like, oh, I better start talking. how do I continue to talk? I did a 24-hour live stream. Silver was there. Silver is one of the longest running members of that. But he was here when it was 5 to 10 people in the live stream. Oh. Now, this is the Dynasty show. It's late night. We have 24 in here right now, but it's late. And the replay values replays on the Dynasty show are a lot bigger than the live views. But on the main channel during the season, Luis, have you been with us during the season yet? The full season or no?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I don't know why I don't remember that.
I come in and out, man.
I didn't remember when you joined. But anyway, we were during the year, in August and September. I want to say we were between 500 and 1,000 live viewers at any one moment on a live stream. So the off season is a lot. I mean, since you were there, you probably know. But if anybody's watching right now and they wonder what that,
Yeah.
But I hope that this year we're at
we know it
1,000 to 2,000.
You're gonna
live.
Well,
hopefully.
Well, like like Husseini, and like there's a lot of people that like have said the same thing, man. Like
He needs sleep.
you, no, he's probably asleep. But
Luis, you need sleep too. Especially if you're doing any driving tomorrow.
No.
Husseini, you're working with a limo company. Are you just delegating some people around tomorrow? Hopefully, you don't have to do any drives.
Probably.
I'll be driving Smitty, but
oh boy,
I got one in a few hours, but I'll be all right. I'm used to it.
Oh, Husseini. Don't worry, it's just a hive. It's just LeBron James. I'm responsible for driving LeBron James around. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'm going to have a knock on my door from the investigation team. It's like, were you the one keeping Husseini up all night long on your live stream when he had to drive LeBron James around?
No. Okay, so like it's like 7 minutes left. We're just gonna do ourselves like 8. Sorry, my bad. Husseini, you ready?
Oh, are you saying you want Husseini to talk for 8 minutes? I don't know if Husseini's going to be able to. Go ahead, Husseini, you're live.
We're gonna go at it. We're gonna go back and forth. Okay, so like one topic. Pick one topic. You got it. It's whatever you want, bro. It's whatever you want. You can change it. It's all good.
I'll just sit back.
Man, I don't know. I'm not good with the spot on me. That's why I mute myself until Smitty tells me to talk.
Cool. No, it's all good. Okay, cool. So like we're gonna go Rice versus Hendy, real quick. Go. Dynasty. Who do you got?
I mean, if I'm being realistic, Hendy, but I think if you want to hear a hot take, my hot take is that I don't think anything's going to happen to Rice this season. I don't think that he's going to get suspended. My take is that if they were to, it would have already happened. But that's just me. I know that they could do something.
Let me just ask you. Okay, so there could be some truth to that. I'll be honest, because it has been a little time. The NFL has done their investigation. The only reason I would say don't put too much stock into that it hasn't happened yet. That means it won't. Is because the NFL is very much about money, and if they believe that what is known isn't necessarily gonna come to light yet, they might try and get away with what they can get away with. The NFL is very, very, very much about money. I also think that, they can't supersede the investigations, meaning like if they did their own independent investigation and they have evidence that they're going to condemn Rice on in their mind, they can't just go out and have that known to the world while they're in the middle of their investigation against Rice. You know what I mean? So they're almost beholden to the police or the legal situation if the DA is involved or not involved in this domestic situation, and domestic always has the DA potentially look at it to see if they're going to move forward. They can't supersede any of that and step on it and shed light on the case or influence it by having this big public display of hey, the NFL suspended him for it, so now if he goes to trial or some sort of, if the DA takes it to distance, then you have a unobjective potential population of people that are going to judge him. So there's no way to conclude that Rice would have already been, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that thinking. I know you're a positive thinker about your Chiefs, but that's the bottom line. But I will tell you this: It seems like the alleged victim, which is his baby's mama, has gone dark and quiet about this. Now she could be instructed to win the situation in the case, and obviously stop talking, stop tweeting, and this could be under direction of her counsel. And so being quiet doesn't necessarily mean that we won't, you know what I mean? So like we don't really know. There's no real tell here, is what I'm trying to say. The other thing that I would say is concerning Husseini is that he's on probation. So when you look at the way that this timeline works, is Rashi Rice, which is perfect because he's on screen. So let me just delete. And I saw another $20 super chat swing in here from Luis. Hold on 1 second, Luis. Rice is looking at a So this is the crash, right? And this right here is today. Now, anything that happens between that crash and today, he's in trouble. If there's documentation, a witness, anything. And the problem with the baby's mama case against him is there's a lot there. It's not, hey, he put hands this moment, boom, we're going after that. We're talking about she's claiming there's years of all this, stuff that happens. Now that's all here before the crash, or some of it. So hard to know what the NFL will do. The legal system, you know, who knows what they can do about this. And he's not necessarily responsible for breaching or breaking his probation terms for things that happened in the past, but doesn't mean he can't get in trouble for them. And the NFL could say, oh my God, this evidence is horrible. Doesn't matter if it was before this time. You didn't tell us about this. We had a candid conversation with you. And now we have this bad light on the NFL. We have to take action. So not completely out of the woods for things that happened before the crash. But when he got put on probation, when this incident took place on the freeway, where he ran off the freeway and left a mom and child stranded and caused over $1 million in damage, and got put on probation, got a 6-game suspension. If the locking her out of the house with the child endangerment, or, striking or putting hands on said victim, anything happened in here that's provable, unfortunately, that is a problem for his probation. And it's also a problem for Rice when he sat down with the league and they said not one thing. So if there are so many things that she's lining up, she's got to be wrong about all of them. And she also has to have no evidence and no witnesses and no anything. And it seems like a laundry list of things that she's throwing out there. And my guess is that this was a very stressful time for him, regardless of it being his own fault. And so he probably was under a lot of stress during this time frame. And I just fear there's something that's going to cause him to, and if there's, and I could be wrong, but if there's nothing there, then, obviously it'll be okay. But there's still a chance that there's stuff in the past that could still come back to bite him because he didn't tell the league, and the league said, tell us everything, and he didn't, and they're going to hold him accountable for that. Also, remember, people say things like a slap on the wrist. These NFL players get away with everything. He did not. He got a 6-game suspension, which was way more than we had thought he would get. So he actually had the hammer come down on his situation. And given that this is now the baseline for him, if anything further happens, especially during his probationary period, the league's not going to come in and go, here's a 1 game. There are some NFLPA, guidelines for certain offenses, though. So we'll have to take into account that. But for the most part, the 6-game suspension puts him in a real bad spot to hit a full season or another 6-game or an 8-game or a 10-game suspension. Kind of a complicated situation, Husseini, that even I can't guesstimate on anything. So I'm just here to, I'm not trying to, get you depressed about it, but bro, hear me when I say that you get Carnell Tate, you will not care.
Oh yeah, of course. He's, but I don't want to say way better, but he's better than Rice for sure. I'm not denying that. I mean, Rice was, where do we draft Rice? Like the 3rd or 4th round or whatever it was. Like, he's not Carnell Tate, so I agree with that. If Rice does get suspended,
crazy.
If Rice does get suspended, do you reckon that'll be like a month before the season starts? You think it'll be during the season randomly kicked out? Yeah,
I wish I knew the answer. By the way, thanks for the additional 5 minutes, Luis. You're the man, the myth, legend. So we're at 5 minutes and 26 seconds left. I don't know. I wish I could I could guess, bro, and throw a bunch of mud at the wall, but I try not to do. I try to let people know when I'm doing that. So if I am going to throw mud at the wall without very, very little evidence, I would say, unfortunately, the league doesn't seem to care about giving the Chiefs enough notice for the NFL draft. And so the Chiefs are going to have to make some assumptions based on the investigation that maybe the NFL gives them some hints about, or like, hey, it's looking good. That's all I can tell you. Something like that might trigger the Chiefs to make a move. But the more concern there is, the more likely the Chiefs will be to spend this number 9 overall pick on Carnell Tate. So you almost don't want Rice to look in the clear now and then look worse later. You almost want this to look really bad now so the Chiefs freak out, draft Carnell Tate, and then you're good to go. And you're literally, it's going to be sad to let Rice go. But if Rice is in a good spot, you're not getting Carnell Tate. So you almost have to look at it like one door opens when one door closes. You can't look at it like, oh, we could have had them both. I mean, you probably will for a little while, but I don't think you're keeping Rice unless he has a bad year and he's got no market and you re-sign him, which is a possibility. But you're almost rooting for this to look bad so that your Chiefs will grab Tate, because they might not if they're not sure they're in trouble. So it's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we get Tate, that would be awesome. I would take that over. And at this point, we're not getting Love, so I don't think we're going to get Sadiq either. So yeah, I mean, Tate's the only offensive skill option left. That's realistic. I like Tyson too. I actually like Tyson better than Tate, but for the Chiefs, I think that Tate is better, and I think Tyson reminds me of like the next Cooper Kupp or the next Puka. In that sense, I think like that's the way I think he plays, and I think Tate is a little better for what the Chiefs want to do. They want someone reliable that. Not saying that Tyson's not. I mean, Tyson has, I think, a higher ceiling, but I think Tate is just so reliable with his hands. Like he's a lot more like of a matured kind of player, I think. And so
Tate is like the definition of, I believe. I mean, maybe we find out something different. Everybody's got hidden things or whatever, but he feels like the definition of what you would want in your room, your wide receiver room. The discipline it takes, especially when you think about like a technician like that who doesn't drop the ball. What do you think of? Organized person, clear-headed, timely, first person in, last person out. Like that's the kind of person that catches every football. And that's what the Chiefs haven't drafted. They've been drafted the kind of guy like Rice is like, I'll drop one, but I'll catch a 50-yard bomb, baby. And that's been Kadarius Toney. That's been, it's just been a disaster, one after the other. So maybe we need to go this route and get Mahomes a technician, a Chris Carter focused technician that doesn't drop footballs at all. And this guy, being a bit slower, and when you say slower, I just mean like his 40s, not, it's not 4.6 or 4.7. It's, we're talking about 4.45 to 4.55. In that range, you could easily get at any one moment if he was to rerun, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. But Carnell Tate is plenty fast. And, Rashee Rice cutting across the middle of the field, getting peppered with 10 targets in a game with ease. Tate will slide into that role beautifully and probably be better at it because he won't drop the football. But you put Carnell Tate, let's say, in Tennessee, I'm not saying it's not good. We'll definitely be happy that he's the number one. But that's a different environment. And, you could see him struggle a bit more. Whereas he goes to a place where he can get peppered. You have the Puka Nacua type of response that's capable of happening. And the growth can happen really rapidly. If Puka Nacua were shoved in Tennessee, let's say we could go in some weird Spider-Verse and put rookie Puka Nacua in the current Tennessee Titans situation. So rookie, undeveloped Puka Nacua gets drafted this draft in some weird Spider-Verse, and he's sitting there for Cam Ward. He becomes Cam Ward's number one. I don't think we see the same Puka Nacua develop at all. I'm not saying he couldn't be good. I'm not saying he won't be relevant, but he's not the same guy. You put Carnell Tate in Stafford's environment, and you see Puka Nacua develop. You put Carnell Tate in Mahomes' environment in that Rashee Rice role, I think we see him develop tremendously fast. So where everybody lands is very important. Tate is a CeeDee Lamb type player. And that's that. I think we're out of time. I didn't miss anything, did I? Boys, I appreciate you. You there, Luis? Did you fall asleep? Did Luis fall asleep?
I think he fell asleep on the phone.
I think he fell asleep. All right, Husseini, appreciate you.
No, I did not.
Oh, there he is.
All
right, boys.
There he is.
Look, I appreciate you. I'm not trying to pressure you into dropping anymore. I want you to just know I appreciate you. And Husseini, get some sleep, my boy. You need to drive. How long until you're driving?
Let's see.
Husseini.
In four
drop one more, bro. Drop one more. I gotta drive in 3 hours.
Yeah, Husseini's got to drive. He got to drive.
I
Husseini.
gotta drive in 3 hours.
Well, he could drop one. Luis dropped another 5. Husseini, don't stay on the phone if you can't. If you got to get some sleep, bro. Luis is made from a different cloth.
Yeah, he's deep in his bag.
Today's actually my last day in my current position, so I'm gonna get promoted tomorrow.
I'm celebrating.
So
there you go.
I mean,
congrats.
Kind of, to an extent.
Congrats.
Well, to an extent, but like today I still gotta go to. I still have to work today.
I know, but Husseini's got to drive clientele around, so we got to make sure he's good to go. Husseini, you just dip off, and you've done your work. You good, kind sir. I only want to hear one thing from you. Where's the Mahomes poster that I gave you? I met Husseini when he was in Phoenix. I said, Husseini, because he was doing what Luis is doing, and he still is. I mean, he's still dropping massive super. But I said, I owe you something. And he comes into town, and I said, let me meet you and give you a Mahomes limited edition. I think they made like 50 or 100 of them over at Fathead. And it's this Mahomes like special decorative poster board or whatever. Where'd you put it, Husseini?
It's right now. It's hanging in. I'm looking at it right now. It's in my room, hanging, right, nice. Staring me in my face,
putting you to sleep, whispering sweet nothings in your ear.
Well, he sounds
go to bed.
Like he's alright.
Go to bed.
The poster lets me know that there's still at least 2 more rings coming up in the near future. So.
Oh my God.
Okay, Husseini, get some sleep. Appreciate you, bro. Later.
We gotta go.
All right, Luis, you got 3 minutes and 24 seconds of extended time.
Well, honestly, it's gonna be me and myself and Husseini. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a long time, man. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a real fun time for the next 4 to 5 years. He's got Mahomes. I got May. Like Mahomes is better right now. That's cool. But like May is better in my opinion.
It's going to be a great matchup for year in, year out.
It's going to be a great match. It's going to be such a great matchup, man.
The one thing you have going for you, though, at least right now anyway, things change, is you got 2 teams, I believe, in your division that are not real threats. I like Willis and all, but he's going to be struggling. I like him, though. Hopefully he gives A-Chain enough work. But you've got a potential, division-winning potential every single season. Husseini's got to go up against soon. He's going to have to go up against LV too, but he's got a real tough division. So you might luck out some years, and the Chiefs miss the playoffs again, like they did. If there's any sort of setback at all, Mahomes misses 3 games, 4 games. Maybe Fields, changes that, but
it's gonna be a fun. I mean, you can end it, man. It's all good.
No, I'll let the timer run out here. We got 1 minute and 50 seconds. I have no problem doing my part. All I know is we started this show with a 10-minute timer, and it's 2 hours and 28 minutes. So,
well, I mean,
hats off to you.
Like I said, well, you already know. Like last time, I mentioned the same thing. I will mention it again. What do I have to do? I know this is a fantasy show. I understand. what do I have to do for everybody? Hopefully, everybody brings it up. Jordan versus Michael.
Oh
Michael
God!
Jordan.
You should have talked about this when we had time. We got a minute and 10 seconds. I mean,
no, I know, but like I'm saying, like, well, I
okay,
already did it once.
but
like,
Luis,
I'll do it again. Like, you tell me what's up.
Here's the problem with 58 seconds left. There's only so much I can squeeze in here.
Go ahead.
If you go to an astronaut that's been to the moon and seen it in real life, and you're trying to debate with them how the moon looks, it's a nonsensical argument. It makes no sense at all, and it's like almost laughable. If you haven't seen Jordan play, you can't even enter a debate. You're not even allowed to debate Jordan versus LeBron. You're not even allowed. If you didn't watch Jordan play live and you didn't watch LeBron play live at the same time, you can't have the debate. You can't watch fuzzy.
That is such a weak.
It's not weak. It's just the
take.
truth.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I mean, like, you tell me when to come. I'm gonna bring my little. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna bring all my little tape and stuff.
You bring on your note cards. Well, hey, why don't you extend maybe extend the Dynasty show tomorrow night, and we'll have on that extension we'll have just that debate. Okay?
No, well, like I told you, I probably won't. I gotta work tomorrow. Like, how about that? How about Friday? Friday on the Graveyard Dynasty show Friday night. If you every extended minute you have, it's all LeBron and Jordan. Okay. And you're gonna get dunked on. Gotcha. Right.
And you're gonna get dunked on. All right.
No, I'm not. No,
Luis.
Okay.
Luis. Again,
Bro,
it's like talking to an It's like talking to an astronaut about space, and you've never been in space. It makes no sense.
Smitty,
it makes no sense.
I respect the heck out of you, but you have no idea what I'm gonna say.
There's nothing you can say.
It's gonna be a lot. Wait. Okay, yes sir.
Well, read the chat. Read the chat right now. The people that are answering, at least. It's Jordan.
Okay,
Jordan.
Bro, like
Jordan.
Okay. I pray that everybody comes ready.
Friday.
Because it's gonna be fun.
It's
gonna be so fun.
It will be fun for us. Friday, I'll see you there. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate.
What do you want? No. What do you want? 1, 2, 3. What do you want? 25 minutes? Like 30, 40? Like, it don't matter, bro. Like, it's literally gonna be fun because you guys.
I'll be there Friday. Be there, be square. Maybe at the Big Tree Friday.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes,
all right, Luis.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Let him cook.
What a
yes,
day!
Sir. Yes, sir.
What a historic live stream!
Yes, sir.
The longest.
Yeah, I understand. Yes,
longest
sir.
Dynasty live stream ever on this channel.
And Jordan is not the GOAT. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Luis.
Running away, and he retired twice. Yes, sir. Bye. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Later.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Wow. Historically long live stream. Never, ever had a 2-hour and 30-minute Dynasty live stream before, especially when the timer said 9 minutes and 59 seconds to begin. But wild to me that we're even having conversations like Jordan versus LeBron. Can I just say something, and I'll tell him this when he calls in on Friday, he'll hear it. But I've never talked to somebody that has watched LeBron and Jordan both play live. And I'm not talking about like one game at Jordan's end of his career. I'm talking about you watch Jordan his entire career on TV. And you watch LeBron's entire career on TV. I've never talked to a person ever that has watched both that says LeBron. They laugh in the face of anybody that says LeBron. And the only people that say LeBron are 22, 25, under 30-year-old people usually that have only watched LeBron. And they're making estimations about Jordan. It's like, I don't understand how. There's no debate to have. There's no debate to have. Zero. If you've watched both play, your answer will be Jordan. I have never talked to somebody. I didn't say I haven't talked to somebody that has watched both. I say I've never talked to somebody that has watched both that says LeBron. I've talked to plenty of people that have watched Jordan live and LeBron live. And if they have watched them both live, their answer's 100% Jordan every time. Plain and simple. See you all later. Luis Husseini to the motherfreaking moon. Everybody else that drops super chats to the moon, good Lord. Husseini, Luis. Yeet. Appreciate you. Husseini, Luis. Travesty. McGee, appreciate, G.T., appreciate you. Travesty, appreciate you. G.T. again. Husseini. Money Mitch, appreciate you, Money. Appreciate every one of you. See you all tomorrow. Live whenever big news breaks. Yeah, I even have Kobe over LeBron. Deuce!